All right, welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to the show. I hope the audios are good. So, can everybody please do me a nice little audio check? Let me know if the audio is actually working. I see Open here, I see Costin here. So let me know if the audio is working, because I have made some changes. This is one of the reasons why I need to double check that everybody can actually hear me properly. So say something, do something, just let me know if this audio is okay. So silent sweep here. Hello, 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 my brother. Chaos here. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So all good. All good. Is the sound good? I see Skin and Bones here. Awesome, my brother. How are you? So let's see if this sound is good. That's what I'm waiting for. I want to know. Audio is great. Okay, strong, lovely. Okay, we are going to do one more audio test when Stark Smart joins us. So I'm going to wait for Tracy. I have shared the link. I am waiting for her to join up. So let's see what happens. Sounds fine to me. Awesome, awesome. No, I made some changes, so I can't hear the audio anymore. Okay, because we were having some echo issues and all sorts of other nonsense we've had before. So we spent like I think it was about an hour and a half, 2 hours yesterday configuring this whole thing. Now it works by default, and I mean, I might even let you guys join in as well. Why not, right? So I have the whole thing set up. You can see, look, this is the actual stream, and yeah, it's a whole different ball game, but it does lag a little bit, but that's because it's taking the feed from Google to do this. So this is Google Meets. So let's see what it does anyway. But right now we're not going to be on that feed. So let's continue with some of our stuff while Tracy comes along. So when she comes on, she's going to be showing a little strategy, something that I was going to be doing myself as well at some stage. But I thought I'll let her do it. It's much more better, and at least that way, you know, because we have a lot of women in crypto as well, and I feel that they also need to be acknowledged, because we do have some really, really smart people, you know, and we're going to be the show basically who promotes everybody here. So it doesn't matter who you are, as long as you're part of the community, we're going to grow strong, we're going to do things together, we're going to collaborate, we're going to become stronger. So also there's another person I am looking to get onto the show, or probably even go to his show at some stage, which is Matt's Market, right? So you never know, maybe at some stage we'll probably get everybody to come on the show at one stage, you know, but that we're growing into this. You see, this channel's growing, we're also growing community, you know, and even collaborations as well. We're meeting up with brand new YouTubers, and we all have something to give to everybody. So enough of this introductions, we're going to wait for everybody else, but I'm glad everybody's here. Awesome, awesome, awesome. You can see how the market is doing. Let's get the cursor right. You can see exactly how this market is doing right now. Everything pretty much is green. Now normally I hate this to be green, but at this stage I actually don't mind this to be green. And there's a big fundamental reason why, and I think I have to show you all this on the chats as well. Sorry, I was going to say on the thing, but I can't see the chat. So give me a second, guys. Let me refresh. Yeah, smash those like button if you haven't already. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Let's grow this community. Let's become stronger together. Let's grow this community and do so much more of this stuff as well. Also, you can join Discord, and yeah, follow through there as well. Reese Phillips, Anton Hake. Hello everyone. Hello bro. Hello Anton. Hello Reese. Time to learn. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yes, we will learn. We will learn. It's like, I mean, obviously with me, I want to do some crypto classes. That's a different story. But Tracy is planning to do a whole bunch of stuff in the educational thing. And I think that if she's going to be doing it, then I might as well show you and introduce you guys, because if she's going to be dedicating videos to do that, of course my style and Tracy's style is going to be two unique styles, right? So Tracy will probably make an educational segment and then throw that at you, so you can go watch it again and again and this and that, whatever. With me, obviously, it's always going to be live stream. So if I've got to show you something, I'll throw it in live as it is, what it is. There's no edits, there's no cuts, there's none of that business, no fancy business here, just hardcore facts, right? So let's continue with this. Also, let me just double check. Okay, I'm sure I'll probably realize it. One second, guys, one second. I want to double check something. Give me a second and double check one specific thing. Just want to double check something interesting. There must be a way for me to actually double check. Do you know what? I'm going to do this. I think there is a way. So for now, I'm going to just switch the audio. And I believe default, yes, okay. Just give me 1 second. I'm just trying to do a nice little check on the, especially on the audio. Awesome. Okay, I've got my audio that I wanted, because I was wondering, I was like, what's going on with this audio? Is this audio actually working? And yes, the audio is working. This means that when we start talking and everything as well, I can actually get my audio coming through. Awesome. All right, so we can hear the audio. Yep, and I can hear whatever's going in the show as well, so that's good. That's good. So far so much. I've got everything, so I will know when she comes in. At least that's out of the way. Sorry, I just had to do a final check. Right, let's go back into the charts and let's have a look and see what's going on. Right, so number one thing we want to double check is what's happening with our fear and greed. Obviously we've been keeping an eye on it. Yesterday we were at 17, you can see, and we're coming back to 27. Absolutely fine, not to worry about it. Also guys, if Tracy doesn't come to the show, don't worry, I'll show you a few bits and bobs. That's the tune from Played, isn't it? I don't know, my brother. I can't tell you, because what I've did was, you see this video playing here, this is actually a video, right, on the side, disclaimer, and I've put like a whole bunch of tracks, all of them from YouTube's file list, and they're all actually copyright free, which means, you know, there's no copyright issues or anything like this. And I just basically bunched them up together and just added them to the video. So what you're seeing on the this left hand side here is just a video, literally just playing with the disclaimer, no financial advice, obviously. So I wouldn't have a clue what the track is playing, because I actually didn't remember. Now I believe Tracy's here. Give me a second, let me just check if this is Tracy. Give me a second. Yes, here we are. Awesome, awesome, awesome. You can hear me, right? Awesome. Question is, can I hear you? See, I can't hear you. Let me just check if they can hear you. Let me just check. Give me a second. Right, I think that's going to be the most important thing, because a few bits and bobs going on here. I want to activate the other one. We'll do a nice little sound check and then we'll continue. Yeah, because even I can't hear you right now. Remember the problem we had at the end? I think that problem is still following through, so I can't personally hear what's going on right now. So we're gonna have to figure this out. Give me a second, guys, just hold tight. We're coming there. We're coming. Right, okay, let's do this. Yes, I know you can't hear us. They're all saying they can't hear us. Yes, you will be able to hear us. Let's get the guest on. Yes, we know. We're about to fix it, guys. We're about to fix it. So say hi to Tracy. She's here right now. Let's get this audio in there and see if we can hear what's going on. Snake Fingers, can you share playlist in Discord? It's a video, but I'll see what I can do. What I can do. Yeah, that's not a problem. Right, let's get this audio fixed first. Yeah, give me a second, guys. Let's fix this audio, because I remember we had this same issue yesterday as well, right? So let's get this audio sorted. Right, Tracy, say something. Tracy, say something. Can you hear me? No? Yeah, sorry guys, we had this same issue yesterday. Let's try this and see what happens. Because yesterday we had this audio issue where I couldn't hear anything at all. Okay, so this seems to be working. Tracy, can we hear you? Are you still muted, or are you saying anything? Can you hear me? Yes, we did, didn't we? We worked really hard. And look, back to square one, right? It's just so annoying. Let me try something else. Give me a second. Let me try something else. I'm going to try something else. Let me see if I can make this work this way. All right, Tracy, say something. Let me see if I can hear you. No, nothing? We're on. Yeah, same here. I can't hear you either. Let me do something. Give me a second. I'm going to try and do something. Give me a second. Let me see if I can sort this out. So I did something weird yesterday where I could hear you through my headphones. So say something. Let me see if I can hear you. You can't hear me. All right, so you can't hear me. Interesting. Can the audience hear me? This is the question I have now. Okay, so the audience can hear me. Give me a second. Give me a second. Let me see what's going on. Tracy, say something. Sorry, guys. Yeah, we spent hours yesterday, literally. Okay, Ryan says they can hear me. Question is, we can't hear Tracy. All right, give me a second. Let's try and see if we can get you back on. I'm literally doing the same thing we did yesterday. Okay, let's try this. Tracy? No? Can you imagine this? We set this up last night. And right now, no one can hear you. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Come on. Tracy, do you want to do something else that we did yesterday? Do you want to send me a link? And maybe I can jump into your link. Do you want to try that? Can you hear me? Nope, you can't hear me at all. Wow. All right, what about now? Try this. Say something. Nope. Right, try this. Anything? Say something. No, nothing. Wow. Absolutely nothing. Tracy, I got a plan for you. I got a plan for you. Can you hear me at all? No? You can't hear me, right? Okay. I hear something. Wow. Okay. Tracy. Discord. 1 second. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to basically get Tracy to jump onto Discord, and then we're going to do it from Discord as we did yesterday as well. We did sort the audio out through there, so let's try and do this. All right, let's do this. So this is going to be a bit nuts, but it does work. So let's do this. Can you hear me, Tracy? Can you hear me? Right. Get rid of this nonsense. Let's see if we are in there. All right. Guys, don't worry, we're on it. We're on it. I hope you guys could hear me. I think you can actually. So let's see if we can bring Tracy back in. And what we're going to do is something completely different. All right, I've got Tracy. I can hear you. Question is, can they hear? Let me see if they can hear you. So it was you. Ah, okay. So let me do this. Let me bring another page and let's try and do this again, right? Because I think that might have just sorted it out. So let's bring you back in. Do you want to share me a link and then we'll jump into that, okay? Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this because that's where we set it up yesterday, right? So let's do this. I mean, as long as I can hear you, they can hear you. It's fine. So leave the Discord open as well and we just continue. Yeah, why not? Sorry, guys. This is what happens in these shows. All right. I'm sure they're understanding anyway. Exactly. Exactly. So as long as they can hear us, that should be good. Let's see. Lower the music volume, please. So they're saying lower the music volume. Okay, we can get rid of the music volume. Absolutely get rid of that. That's fine. So now the question is, can they hear you? So let's see what they say. They can hear you. Funnily, apparently they can hear you. They can. Somehow. But very vaguely, I could hear you because I heard you in the, what do you call this? I actually heard you on the headset. So let me just quickly, let me copy this for you. Give me a second. There may be, yes, if need be, I will switch it off. That's not a problem. There we go. So what I'm going to do, Discord, I will, so let's see. Right, so you're back. Can we hear you?
Hello.
Okay, I'm going to switch off Discord for a second to see if, right, I've got rid of Discord. Can I still hear you?
So testing. Yeah, I think Alvin is right.
Now I
It's
can't
probably
hear
just
you
a little
anymore.
bit of an echo coming through, but yeah, I'm
How
getting
annoying
no
is that?
audio through the Google Meet again. It's great. This is
Okay,
chaos.
get back on Discord. I'm going to get back on Discord. Give me a second.
Okay, so now they can hear me. I cannot hear you.
I know, but now you can hear
Oh
me,
wait,
right?
no, I can hear you now. I can hear
Right.
you now.
Yeah, as soon as
There we go.
basically what I had to do is jump back into, so for audio input and output, I'm having to jump into Discord And funnily, your audio is now coming through Google. How hilarious is that?
I this stuff is it's like calculus trying to
I know.
figure it out.
All right. So, anyway, guys, we finally have Tracy here. I want you all to excuse what's happened and
Yeah,
welcome Tracy Stark here from Stark Smart's channel. And let's continue with this show. Right. I see, look,
yeah.
this chat is exploding.
Yes. It's
Right.
finally it's happened. It's finally
It's
happened.
finally happened and everyone's here. So this is awesome, awesome, awesome. And what I'm going to do is just fix this video because I realized the video literally bounced out of position while we was
Yeah.
doing all of this. So that's all good. Disclaimer videos off. Disco. Yep, music and everything is off. Right, let's go for this, guys. So the question now is, I know a lot of people here are really, really excited. They want to learn
Mhm.
what you want to teach them. So I said to everybody, I said they got to be patient. They got to watch out for what's happening today. So we have loads of people
Yeah.
on the comments, loads of people on the chat. I'll just give a nice little shout out to all the people here. We've got Costin, awesome, Albin, awesome, Silent Sweep, KR as usual, Skin and Bones, and these guys who are waiting for you, by the way. So we have Anton here, we have
Oh,
Reese
that's
here. They're
awesome. That's
waiting for you. I'm not joking.
that
They're
that
actually
that
mostly from the group.
I am truly humbled.
You should be. We see Ryan C here. Awesome, awesome. So he said he's new to the channel. Really glad to catch one of your streams. I missed some of the past streams lately. So awesome. No worries, brother. We're here every day. And trust me, we're pretty much on repeat, right? We're like a broken record.
Yeah.
I see Snake Fingers after a long time. He's back again as well. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And yeah, I mean, let's go for this. I mean, you see loads of comments here. Chris Kosher here as well. Awesome, nice to see you. And JB's, of course, awesome, awesome. Jubair Hussein is actually my nephew. Awesome, nice to see him as well. Um, and yeah, loads of lovely people, and chat is exploding, exploding. So,
Oh, that's
Tracy,
awesome.
introduce
Thank you
yourself
for
a
the
little bit.
warm welcome, everyone, really.
Exactly. But introduce yourself a little bit to everybody that who don't
Okay.
know who you are. Maybe
Right.
even in the group, because I don't think most of the guys know that you're actually on our group. You're one of our community members as well.
Right, yes. So I am on the Discord. I'm not super chatty because I have been pretty busy lately, but the reason why I've been busy is I have been on YouTube for the past year or so. I was on a different channel and now I have branched off and started my own channel. I do a lot of technical analysis. I have been doing technical analysis. I am self taught. I started in the Forex markets in about 2008, 2009. And then that kind of just naturally moved over to the crypto markets when crypto became a thing. So I do a lot of TA. I am a developer, a software developer by trade. So I plan to also do some light tutorial work. Maybe you want to build your own trading bot. That's planned for in the future. So my channel is basically just really fundamental stuff, and it's really geared towards educational and edutainment sort of stuff. So that's what I want to provide everyone.
I love that word, edutainment. That's a new one.
Edutainment. Yeah.
Awesome. But that's what I've said to everybody as well, because I was going to do some crypto schooling myself, and a lot of the
Hmm.
stuff that you're going to teach them is some things that I was going to teach them as well. But I've got the problem. Remember what we talked about?
Right.
Time and team.
Yeah,
Really
there's
hard to get
only
hold
so
of.
many hours in the day, and I
Exactly.
only have 3 of them most of the
Well,
time.
you've got three. I sometimes don't even know how many I have. I mean, I just
Right.
count my minutes, right? So I
Yeah.
obviously stream whenever I can, and everybody knows I'm pretty random with this stuff. But what I have recommended to everyone, I said, guys, you want some education, some free education. Well, this is where Stark Smart comes in, right? Because
Right.
that's what you're planning to do as part of your
Hmm.
oncoming projects. And I think that's going to be very valuable to everybody. This is one of the reasons why obviously you're here, but more than that, this is not just the first one. This is one of many
Right.
about to come. So you'll be here a lot more. Obviously dropping some of these knowledge bombs, which we want to all
Right.
see. So that's going to be really, really awesome, obviously, right? So I think everybody wants to know today, like obviously one of the main subject of the theme today is
Hmm.
how to buy the dips, right? But
Right.
before that, if there's anything else you want to show, maybe even have a look at the charts today and let us see what's going on in the charts, exactly,
Yeah.
how the market's doing and what you feel. I think normally I just blab on about whatever I feel
Right.
in the market, how bullish I am or how bearish I am. But I think today I'm going to leave that to you. So the show's yours.
Sure, sure. So let me go ahead and I will pull up my BTC chart because I always start there and then dive into other coins as I see fit or as people want me to look at because BTC is such a market driver. So I always start with the state of BTC.
Now, you said
And
BTC is a market driver. Can you
mhm,
explain a little bit about
right.
what your views are? Because we know we've talked about this as well. We're pretty much on the
Hmm.
same page. But if you can just explain this to the audience, like
Right.
why you feel the same way as probably pretty much I do.
Right. So if you kind of imagine all the cryptocurrencies being in a swimming pool. Maybe it's an above ground. So it's not very fun, right? And everybody just starts jumping up and down. Who's going to make the biggest waves? The biggest dude, right? And the biggest dude right now is Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin makes significant moves, it tends to take the market with it. So if you can get your finger on the pulse of Bitcoin, you'll have a much better time understanding how the rest of the market reacts. There are some tokens out there that tend to react in the opposite direction that Bitcoin does. They're not high in number, but they're out there. I mentioned on my last stream, Celo, CELO, tends to go the opposite direction of Bitcoin most of the time. It hasn't been happening lately, so the markets have been a little strange. But, once you kind of understand and can read Bitcoin, then the rest just kind of falls into place and things start making sense.
Obviously, but this is just now while
Hmm.
BTC hits keeps that dominance, right? So what we do have to make people understand that if you look at the broader picture, this is current and this is temporarily until we see a
Hmm.
dispersal in the dominance. So once the
Right.
dominance is spread amongst other major currencies who are up and coming, this will
Right.
not be the case. So but
That is
currently we
correct.
do use this as a metric because this is weight. You can tell what direction the market's
Hmm.
moving based on this. And when we start seeing altcoins slightly doing an opposite thing to what they normally do, so if you see Celo move the opposite direction, but this particular time Celo's not doing that, well, we can also use this metric to say
Hmm.
actually maybe we're in a full force alt season.
Right.
So we can use that kind of a data to say there's a pattern this thing follows,
Hmm.
but now it's not. Maybe it's because this is what's going on. So again, guys, remember nothing is absolute. Everything that
Right.
we do
Nothing
and
lasts
talk.
forever.
Exactly, but more importantly, whatever analysis we do are based on probabilities. And what we
Hmm.
do, we weigh the probability, and wherever the best weight is or the highest weight is, that's where we want to, what that direction is where we want to go to. Like a few days ago, I've been bearish, bearish, bearish. And then yesterday, I changed my mind and I said, actually, I see a possible trend reversal. And today, you can see us back at 50,500. Now, Tracy, back to you.
Okay, sure. So I'll go ahead and share my marked up Bitcoin chart. It might look a little bit crazy to people, but I'll explain everything that's on here. And oh no, I'm having trouble
What,
again.
you're
It
having that
still doesn't
security
want me
issue?
to, it doesn't want to allow me to share my screen. Okay.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. I'm going to just restart Chrome or I might be even Brave. Let me restart my browser and see if I can get it in. I will be right back.
You do that, and what I'll do is I'll jump on and I'll continue with the stream with some
Right.
other
Yeah,
content on there as well.
absolutely.
So at least that way,
Absolutely. Okay.
everybody can see exactly what's going on, right? So let's jump into this. Right, guys. So what's happening right now? So we're gonna wait for Tracy to restart, and then as soon as he's back, we will continue. So what I'm gonna do is bring you guys back onto the charts and show you some of the stuff that I'm doing. So thank you very much for being very, very patient with us. Obviously, it's just not something we do every day, and I've noticed every time we do it, we do end up having some sort of a problem or another. But I think we figured it out. We have figured it out. I mean, we're getting there right now. These are just little teething problems. Obviously, I still have Tracy in my ear because we're still on Discord, which is having some browser issues. We're going to be sorting that out. Right. So I'm just going to fly through some of the stuff that I've got, right, while Tracy sets that up. And of course, today's show is going to be mostly to do with Tracy, so we're going to leave it there. I want to look at the 24-hour view base metric, basically, of how many Bitcoin has left the exchanges. And what we're looking at is these, of course, money's moving in and out of big wallets. That's what a lot of people are seeing. And I mentioned about how I'm quite positive about what's happening with the markets right now when I see USDT being green. Now that's because I see a lot of USDT actually moving into exchanges. And once they move into exchanges, we know what that means. That means they're getting ready to do some sort of a purchase. USDT just doesn't randomly appear or, enter exchanges for nothing. It's not the place where you would want to stake or earn money because there are other protocols out there where we can do a lot more. So it's not something we see traditionally. Now, when we're looking at BTC being moved out and a correlation in between the USDT coming in as well, it's a clear indication that the market is now deciding to get back. Tracy, give me a shout when you're ready. Obviously, I'll bring you back in. I'll double check that. Give me a second. Give me a give me a second. You're on. You're on. You're on. Absolutely. You carry on. Okay, you carry on. We'll continue back later. You are presenting now, so carry on. And what I'll do is refresh my chat because I can't see anything. Carry on. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at as well because I can't see anything right now. Last thing I can see is Ennis said hi. Yep, that was the last one. Yes. Let's check. They're saying no, they're saying apparently they can't hear what's it called? They can't hear you loud enough, but they can hear you. From what I'm gathering is they can hear you, just not loud enough. So I'm actually doing some tweaks. Yeah, but you know what I've noticed as well? Remember yesterday we were seeing the guest audio moving around. Today guest audio is not doing anything. So I don't know what to say. It's very interesting. So somehow it seems like the audio is actually coming from the audio is just coming from. I've got a feeling it's actually coming back from our thing. Discord. It's actually being fed from Discord. Let me try this. Okay, let's hope this works. Let's hope it works. Because I can clearly hear you now, so that's all good. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've got you on loop back anyway, microphone. Even I can, yeah, so I'm not really sure what I can do. So, guys, do me a favor, turn your volume up. Maybe that might help. Because right now, yeah.
Maybe if I come back in a different, maybe if I leave and come back, it'll clear up.
No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't. It shouldn't be like that at all, actually, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, it shouldn't be like this at all. Because you're here and it should just be working as far as I'm concerned, from everything I know. One thing I can do is probably divert. Give me a second. So on the um, output I have, input I have, let's try this output. All right, guys, how is this now? Is this any better?
Testing, testing. Can you hear me any better?
Because what I've done is I've forwarded you to the multi-output device. Hopefully they could actually hear you. But yes, Tracy, let's continue. Let's hope the guys can turn up the volume a little bit. I had to turn my,
Right.
yeah, because I've turned mine down. She
Okay.
comes out from your headphone into the mic. Free Energy says that. Apparently, you come from my headphone to the mic.
Yeah, that's a. Oh,
Oh, they're saying they
Skin and
can hear
Bones
you.
says good. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Ah. Okay.
So how? I don't.
Wow, this stuff is so hard, y'all.
This is why we need a team. You know what I mean? Oh
Yeah.
my days. So apparently, you're coming from my headphone. Wow.
Interesting.
Oh, look, you're
Interesting.
back here. Look. You're
Okay.
back on the guest
Okay.
audio as well, and you're bumped up fully. Loud and clear, guys.
All
Let's
right.
go.
Very
Let's
loud now.
go.
Perfect. Okay.
That's it.
Awesome. Let's continue then. Now she's way too loud. Okay. I'll turn my gain back down on my phone.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Or
I can
not
hear
my
you
phone, my
perfectly.
microphone.
Yeah, you're good. Don't worry. Carry on.
Okay. All
Wow.
right.
Loud and clear. Too loud now. Now they're complaining, huh?
Still too loud, James? I just turned my gain down.
Hold on. Let me turn mine down a little bit, tad bit. Maybe that will sort it out. Because I am
I mean,
the
I
I am.
also don't want to deafen anybody
All right.
either.
I think that should do it. Okay, I got you on minus 3 dB. It should be fine. Go for it.
Okay, okay. All right. So let me just back up and kind of go over what I was saying. I'm not sure if they got everything that I said about Bitcoin to begin with, but we'll just kind of pretend maybe, and we can always talk about that again later.
Exactly.
But
We'll repeat again.
the Bitcoin chart. I always start at the daily, and I have all of these red lines and green lines and red bands and green bands. And really what those are is areas of support and resistance that I have identified from previous swing highs and swing lows. And the red is for resistance, the green is for support. So you buy during the green, sell during the red. That's the general idea. But so what we're looking at Bitcoin right now is we've come off of our all-time high up here, and we have a downtrend. But we have come down to, and I don't use a whole lot of technical indicators, but I have the Bollinger Band with default settings. I have the simple moving average down here with a 200. It's the 200 SMA daily. And I also sometimes will have the RSI pulled up. And I also have the MACD down here in case I want to look at it too. But I don't usually look at the MACD unless I really want a better picture. Really what we're looking at here is notice how the price has just, it is absolutely just bounced right off the SMA 200. The SMA 200, basically what happens in the market is a lot of technical indicators end up being self-fulfilling prophecies. A lot of traders use them. So when you're getting into technical analysis, it may seem very sexy to try to find that just perfect indicator that'll tell you what the market's going to do. before everybody else knows. But that's not really how technical analysis works.
Exactly.
What you really want to do is you want to copy what the other big guys are doing, what most people are doing,
Follow the money.
because they're going to make their plays and the market is going to move based on what they're seeing. So when price got to the SMA 200, the bulls think, oh, well, this is a value right here, and we're going to buy. And the SMA is a value line, really. It's where things go on sale if you're above it, and it's where things are about to take a turn if you are coming up from below it. So, of course, price will bounce off of this, but only if a lot of people are watching it. And those are the indicators you want to use. So, we are coming up to this resistance line. This has been a resistance line for a while. This is the 50.5 K line.
Yep.
Yep, and it's just it's been a sore spot. You can see that we just about we closed this candle right here, this little tiny one. We just barely closed above the line, but then the next candle we just went right back down below it. It is a difficult spot for the bulls right now.
Yep.
But if we can get it above that line, then we just run right back into this band that I've identified here. So we've got a rough move back up, but it's not impossible.
No,
you know?
Of course not.
We have got a big, huge band of support right here. So no matter what happens, and what might actually happen is we just kind of go back and forth and we just revolve around this line for a little while, maybe till the end of the year. But it's as much technical analysis as you can do. We're still not psychic.
No.
We still don't know this is definitely going to happen. And like he said, these are only probabilities. It's probable the market's going to move sideways, but it could definitely just take off. Like, one good piece of fundamentals, a good news story, we're skyrocketing.
Exactly.
One bad news article, we're tanking. And you never know when those things are going to happen.
Yep. Only thing we can do is like for as technical analysis, basically, what we can do is identify where our possible supports and possible resistance will be. That's about it.
Yeah. And it's really fun and it's really rewarding when you have a line drawn on the chart and it's just been stuck there for months and you watch the market react to that line.
Yep.
You know that you've gotten it right then, because the goal of technical analysis is to figure out what everybody else is going to do, not figure out what the market's going to do.
Exactly. Because the market will do what it does and there's nothing we can do about that. You can only be prepared to buy the top, sell the top or buy the bottom. That's about it.
Yeah. And that kind of brings us to what I wanted to talk about is, we've been in this downswing and people start screaming, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. And you get into this loop and people just throw out these memes, bought the dip, it kept dipping.
Yep.
So I kind of wanted to, and I'm actually, I'm currently editing the footage and I'm hoping to be done like tomorrow or Tuesday. I'm actually going to put out a somewhat longer version of this, but this is the same example that I'm about to show that I have in the video as well. How to buy dips properly.
Exactly. That's what I want you to show them.
How to avoid, feeling like dirt. I was like, okay, everybody said buy the dip. I threw my money in, and now I'm like down $5,000. How do you manage that better? So I'm going to share a different screen. I'm going to stop presenting real quick. Pull this away. We're going to present, I'm going to show you a B&B chart. Yeah, I have so many windows open, I got to find it. Hang on.
Go for it. Guys, show your support. Hit that like button, smash the subscribe if you haven't already, and also I'm going to be posting Tracy's link into the Discord and into our YouTube channel as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to do it now. So I'm going to update the current link, and so that way basically you can have the channel link as well. So if you don't mind, can you just throw me the link into Discord, and what I'll do, I'll share it on Discord, and then I'll throw it into the YouTube description as well. So guys, give me a few seconds. I'll update the links below, and her channel is going to be there. So please, please, please make sure to go and subscribe, like, comment, and also follow, because the thing is that's where Tracy is going to be basically one step ahead of me. Because she's going to be focusing on the education, whereas I don't have the time to do it. I want to do it, I just don't have the time. And of course, you know, this particular way, when we collaborate and everything, of course we're going to do it, but it's very important, you know, for us to work together. And maybe there's something that I show that Tracy doesn't, and there's plenty of stuff Tracy's going to show that I don't, you know what I mean? So we're going to work together in order to bring this to the bigger audience, you know, so we're helping each other grow together. So that's the most important thing. And of course, we've been talking about some sort of crazy ideas, like, you know, how to run a show for like 24 hours a day or something. So, you know, in the future, we don't know it's bright, but we are very positive, and I think there's a lot we could do if we work together, and that's definitely coming at some stage. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled, guys. It's coming. Big stuff is coming.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've got so many plans, and you know, just all I have to do is just find the hours in the day. So hopefully, you know, you're going to be finding the hours to do more of the technical analysis. I probably do technical analysis videos maybe like once a week at this point. But you know, you've got that covered. And you know, I can definitely, you know, cover the educational portion, you know, talk about what crypto, you know, what technical indicators you might want to use for crypto. What technical indicators, if you wanted to get into the stocks, what worked better there? And, you know, just kind of teaching like, okay, how do you combine technical indicators, and doing like the real fundamentals there.
Exactly, because a lot of the times, basically, you know, it's like, as you showed as well, most of the time we don't actually really even bother using technicals, right? So when we're looking at things, we're not using indicators. What we're doing is using a basic guidance, you know, just some like stochastic RSI or even MACD, right? Moving average, convergence, divergence. We're using these to give us a kind of a confluence on what we're saying or what we see on the chart. So we're using that to confirm what we've actually, what the theory is for us. And, you know, that's pretty much how it should be. Also, guys, I've just updated the link. So just below the description, just below the title, you can see the channel link is there. Please do go and check it out. And yeah, let's move on.
Yeah. Also saw in chat, Anton Hulk also mentioned the EMA 55 on the 4-hour chart.
He did,
yes,
and
absolutely.
I noticed, but I was going to comment something. I didn't say anything. There's a reason behind this. So what I would like to say to Anton as well, Anton. So, you know, when you're looking at 4-hour, for example, it's you got to really understand that yes, 55 EMA on the 4 hours, brilliant. But are you trading, you know, those time frames? Because if you're not, if you're looking at that, then you're not really seeing the bigger picture. Because when you're looking at the 4-hour EMA, then your trading time frame should be 2 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes, 45. That should be your session. You always look at a bigger picture, like say for if you're looking at daily, then all the time frames below the daily is relevant to you. So when we're doing daily, we're analyzing this on a bigger picture. We're saying, okay, this is the bigger moves that are happening, and anything in between we can trade, right? So we're looking for signals within this, and we've given ourselves a broader range. But when you're looking at 4 hourly, you're not giving yourself a broader range because you're within that 4-hour time zone. So do understand that it is something else that, of course you're not wrong. You're absolutely right. But the point is we're looking at the bigger picture of thing. And I
Right.
think Tracy opened up by saying how she's not a short-term trader. She's a
Hmm.
long-term hodler, right? So she buys for long-term holding. Again, same like myself, we buy for the longer vision into the crypto sphere. So we're not here just for doing some mini trends or anything. However, you know, if you focus on the video and what Tracy is about to show you right now, you'll understand that previous patterns are perfect future executions for buying the dip.
Hmm.
I think I put it right,
Oh
right?
yeah. Yeah, that almost sounded like a nice tongue twister you could throw out.
I'm trying my best.
All right,
All
so
right,
I'm
go
going to
for it.
go ahead and share. Can you see the BNB chart?
Yes, I think it's coming.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, awesome. So I'm actually back in time here. I'm using a feature on TradingView called bar replay. And this is really what you want to use if you are manually back testing any of your strategies. Because what it does is it removes your bias for, okay, I can see the charts doing this when I'm coming up, and I'm going to do some confirmation bias here, and my analysis is perfect and it's great. So you don't want to have that bias. You want a truthful picture to see if what you're indicating is actually accurate. So I've scrubbed off the future bars using bar replay, and we are currently on November 8th of this year at 6 a.m. in the morning. This is the 4-hour chart for BNB. We don't need for this any of that. I've turned off the SMA. All I have is the Bollinger Band, and that's this is a very simple entry point into some technical analysis for beginners. So if you've never done any TA before, this is a great way to like kind of get your feet wet and start trying to think this way. So all I am using is the Bollinger Band. I'm using it with default settings. So all you have to do is just find it in your indicators list, click on it, and you're golden. So the Bollinger Band, real quick, has some features to it. So you can hit the bottom of the band and bounce off of it, and you can hit the top of the band and you go back down. And you tend to do that, but there's also this moving average line in between that tends to act as support and resistance as well. And you can see that here. We weren't able to get all the way to the other side of the Bollinger Band here, or here. And so you have these areas of support and resistance bounded by the band. And you also get what's called the Bollinger Squeeze. So you can see that there's like a tightening here. And after you've tightened and pinched, you're going to have a breakout. Now, this could last a while, but usually the longer that it lasts, the more profound the breakout tends to be. We had a little bit of a squeeze here. I broke out to the upside a little bit, and then you can see that it pinched really good here and broke out to the upside here. So this is the current market that we're looking at. And this is we've gone back in time, back before Thanksgiving, and here we are. We have BNB already, but we want to add some more BNB to our bag, and we're looking for it to be on sale. We're looking to buy a dip.
Let me just add something there.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, for those of you guys who always ask, right, okay, what's the perfect entry? When do we buy the dip? Oh, I missed that opportunity. I want to FOMO in, or I'm going to wait for it to come down. Well, in layman's term, this is the video you need to watch, because right now Trace is going to show you exactly how we actually do this. I may have not shown it to you, but I have spoken about it many, many times. But the way she's going to show it to you is just so simple, so easy, and you're going to watch and be amazed. So get ready for this, guys.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my little control bar here, And we're going to fast forward the chart and we're going to watch for a good entry point. So here we go. We're coming down and we're going back up and we're up. There we go. So we have a bar, a candle that has closed below the Bollinger Band. So the real body of the candle is outside of that blue line on the bottom of the Bollinger Band. This is a good indication that the market's going down. Now, if you actually look back here, by the way, you can see it happened right here, and we actually just kind of went sideways. So, you know, if I want to buy in here, how do I protect myself from this scenario? Well, this is how you do it. And so I'm not going to buy on this candle. We need this candle to close to confirm the trend. You know, you don't want to say, oh, look, because I mean, it came all the way down here. And you certainly wouldn't, want to make any decisions until you saw that the candle actually did close, because we did have a lot of bullish pressure on this candle, and the bulls could have definitely pushed it all the way back up. And if you had bought it down here, maybe it would have worked out, maybe it wouldn't have. But let's open the next candle and we're going to buy here. Okay. So, and actually this isn't the exact same. I'm just realizing this isn't the exact same example that I'm going to have on my video. So you'll be able to see this again in a slightly different. I think I opened my trade.
Which is good.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Exactly.
This is a good thing.
Just give them a teaser. Give them a teaser, because they get the full picture. You got to get it there. Exactly.
Yeah, this is the teaser. So I'm gonna open. So I'm gonna open my trade here, and I'm just going to do a horizontal line, and we're going to buy somewhere on this candle. I'm not going to be too concerned. I'm just going to put my line there. And what we're going to do is say you're going to have money set aside. The idea is, maybe like you take X amount of money every paycheck and just kind of set it into either fiat or a stable coin and have it ready to go to buy crypto when it dips. So that's kind of like a precursor step that I didn't mention yet. So what you're going to do is when you're dip hunting and you're ready, I'm like, okay, my fiat or stable coin bag is big enough. It's time to move it into crypto. What you're going to do is when you have identified a dip area, that first leg, you're only going to put 10% of whatever you're planning on investing for this dip buy. So if you had $2,000 that you were about to throw into this dip, you'd only put in 200 at this point. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to look back in the chart and identify previous swing lows. Well, our first previous swing low is actually here. And I missed it by a little bit. It's there. So, like, the very last candle was our last swing low, because it did go down so much. Our next previous swing low is this candle right here. You can see its wick is lower than everything else. And our last one is right here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to set limit orders in our trading platforms for 20% here on this line and 30%, oops, wrong key, on this line, and of course 40% on the last one.
So guys, if you're following along, what you can see is the first buy is the least amount, and the
Mm-hmm.
the the last buy, or the cheapest you can grab it, is the highest amount of money you're going to be investing.
That's right.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you want to keep it if the risk is too high, you want to keep it low, right? But when the risk is very low, you want to go dive in, all in, buy that dip, sell that house, whatever. I'm joking.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. So basically, what's happening here is, say the market actually reversed here. Well, you're only down $200 then, and so then, what if, if the market keeps going down and down and down, then, you've hit this next leg. Instead of putting 2,000 all in here, you're buying a little bit more and a little bit more as it comes down, and it can go the other direction at any time. But you're going to save money this way, because if the market reverses at any point, then you're not actually in that significant dip that you're going to want to be buying. So, if the market was to reverse here, then that's not a dip. We didn't actually dip. This was a bad indicator. So we wouldn't have wanted to like throw in our whole bag in, because if we had waited for an actual dip, we would have made so much more money. Like, let's see here, price range. Like, if we could get that, that's like a 20.7% or 20.8%, 20.7% about difference there. So that's all profits you would have lost out on if you'd put your whole bag in here and then it kept dipping. And that's why buy the dip kept dipping is such a annoyance.
Exactly. But if
um,
you pick your coin and you believe in your coin, the best thing to do is obviously do it in this particular strategy. And I've talked about it many, many times, where when you're going down, your dollar cost averaging down. But what happens in reality is you're getting a little bit more than you would have if you did it at the top. Right? And that's
yes.
the strategy. You're accumulating more coins while you're going down rather than putting all your eggs in one basket. That means rather than doing one trade, you're now doing 10 trades, 50 trades,
Hmm.
whatever it takes for you to get to that level.
Right. But with this method, don't think this is going to be a lot of work. All you have to do is take 15 minutes, identify your previous swing lows, set up your limit buy orders, and if you're confused on that, make sure you go to the help section or even chat with the support team of your chosen exchange and make sure you're doing it right. Set it, take the time, look at the charts, make your lines like I did, identify those previous swing lows, look at the price points that are identified here on the right, set up your limit buys for those, and then just walk away. You
Discipline.
don't have to mind the market. You
Exactly.
can just
This is
set that up.
100% discipline. You've already made your mind up. Your decision has been made. Your
Hmm.
trade are executed. You've already set up those orders and you go to sleep. You forget about it. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, who cares? You're still making money. Right? That's the
Right,
whole idea here.
right, exactly. And that's really the way I want to trade these days. It's like I have a family, I have a day job. I can't sit in front of a 6 monitor setup anymore. I don't have that sort of time. So I'm looking for these sort of opportunities. I'm looking for these strategies, and this is definitely the busy person's guide for trading. The real adult's guide for trading. If you have an asset that you believe in long term and you want to hold long term, this is the one of the best ways to invest in it.
Listen, let me just drop this one in there, guys. You want to trade like a boss, right? You want to trade like a
Yes.
boss. You're the G, you're the OG of trading. You go out there and you tell people, look, I trade while I'm sleeping. This is the
Mm-hmm.
strategy. This is how you execute that. And I've talked about it so many times, but I haven't explained it to you guys because I just didn't have the time. But thank
Right.
God Trace is here to explain it to us and show you as well. Honestly, thank God.
Yep. Then and this is really what I live for. He and I were talking yesterday, and I really, for most of my life, just kind of automatically fallen into being some sort of educator. I've been a tutor. I've been a technical trainer for a software company. It's something that is I'm passionate about, is disseminating knowledge.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, well, let's see how we did. I'm going to fast forward the chart, and if the bar
So this is on a
touches,
Monday.
or
So guys, this is on a
right,
Monday. Tracy's done her trade setup and she's going to
hmm
sleep right now. So she's not
right,
going to look at this chart until Wednesday, for example. So let's do
right,
this. How about this, Tracy? Yeah?
yeah. All right, so we're going to fast forward the chart, and you can see that we actually did bound back up, but so remember, we actually made our first buy here, and then we bounced off, okay? And now we've crossed back down. Now we don't have another buy order right here because we entered right here. So now we're at break even. Maybe a little bit, down because, well, the bar's going down. And that's expected. That's what we want in this strategy, is we want it to keep going down so that we buy more and more and more at the cheaper prices. So let's keep going. And it's going back up.
And we're making money
We are making money now.
until we don't.
And then we don't.
Oops.
And,
But guess
so
what?
we bought that dip, and it reversed on us.
Exactly. And we
But
ended up picking the dip.
we're pretty protected because we only put 10% in.
Exactly.
So now we almost touched, but this didn't quite touch just yet. So let's go one more. Oh, close, but no. That one, actually, I have to put my face right up on it.
Yep.
And, when it gets that close on one of these, charting softwares, depending on what exchange you hit, remember, arbitrage is a thing.
Yep.
There's going to be different prices on different exchanges. When it gets that close, maybe it would have triggered on your exchange, maybe it wouldn't have.
It does. I've seen most occasions when you're so close to that level, it does actually trigger it. It hunts it. It just grabs it and then just goes because it wants to fulfill that order.
Right. Yeah. But, still, even, it's going to depend on what exchange you use, usually at the end of the day.
But you see, guys, understand this. Here, this strategy for us is to literally buy as much as possible. So we're not trying to make money here. We're trying to accumulate as many coins. So this is the buy the dip strategy. Even though the market looks like it wanted to go up, we're still strategizing and we've preset orders. Remember, Tracy set this order up on a Monday. This is hypothetical, right? So, just an example. She set it up on a Monday and she went to work. She's not looking at this until Wednesday or Friday.
Right.
So this is a whole week's trade happening without her ever touching the computer.
So I will actually mark when we started. This is the bar we entered on.
Exactly.
So now this was on November 10th, and now we are November 16th. So it's been like almost a whole week, and I haven't had to do anything. We can pretend that this actually did go through, and now we have fulfilled 20%, which is 400 of our hypothetical 2,000 that we were throwing in. And so now we've accumulated a little bit more at a cheaper price. Let's see if we can get more cheaper. So we're going to keep going. There we go. So even if it hadn't filled, definitely that one filled. And we looks like might be going down. Nope. Yes, there, look. So once again, we get really close. So this may or may not have filled. But, in one candle, we could have potentially, it would have hit 30%, and then it would have hit 40%. And then you're done. You have filled your bag up at a bargain.
And how many days did it take us to do this without ever touching anything?
Without ever touching anything, 8 days.
So it took us 8 days, 7 days, eight
Hmm.
days. We didn't touch the computer. We just carried on doing our work. We came back on the eighth day and bam, we hit the target levels that we wanted to buy at. So we've got the bottom price that we wanted. Then
Hmm.
we see what happens to the market.
Right. So I'm just going to hit, instead of click, 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 I'm just going to hit this button, which is just play. So it's going to automatically, and look, we're going up, we're going up. And now, it's kind of in a consolidation area. We're trying to fight, and you can see here, this is the start of a squeeze right here.
Yep.
And we kind of bounced out of it, and then we just came right back down.
And if you look carefully, we've been creating higher lows while we're moving up
Yes,
now.
we have.
So the trend is now forming as well. And remember, each one of these candles is 4 hours. So whatever you're seeing here
Yes.
are days and days. In fact, we've probably got over 2 weeks of data showing right now on the
Oh,
candles.
so yeah, this was a bad day for BNB right here.
Yep. This was just
But
the other day when we had that big dip.
yeah,
It was the entire
mm-hmm,
market reacting on that day.
that is. Keeps lagging, but this is going to play out until we get to today, which it's almost there.
Yep. You can speed it up a little bit if you want.
Yeah, I could have, but I mean, it was so close to finishing.
Yep.
So where are we at? We're actually below our first purchase price, so we did lose a little bit, but we bought most of our bag down here, so we are up um, on the largest portion of our buy. We are up like almost 12%.
There you go. So we have almost 12% more asset, not the value, asset.
Right.
So the same
Right.
quantity, the value we were going to spend, we have spent that. But instead of getting as whatever amount we were going to get on the top, if we bought that one buy, we currently accumulated 10% more than we would have. So that's the whole thing about this idea is when you, kind of see where you want to buy. So for example, Tracy, if you don't mind, if I'm just going to show my screen for a second because I
Right.
have
Yeah.
mentioned
I am
something
going to
pretty
hit stop
crazy.
presenting now.
Yeah, because I have mentioned I have shown them something very,
Yeah.
very crazy, just recently as well. And I said, guys, this is pretty much where I'm basically buying my buys, right? So I think it's going to be very nice for me to show this to them because they can understand. Because I did mention that this is how I kind of buy my stuff. So let me get my thing set up. And I want to show everybody this because I think this would make so much sense when they see this. So I'm just going to share with you guys my little screen that I have. I believe it's this one. Yes. So you
Oh, I
guys,
think I didn't ever start my camera up again.
no, you never
That's
started your
interesting.
camera, but it's
Oh,
okay. Yeah, it's here now. But it's
okay.
okay. We can still hear you and we can see your screen, so
Okay.
that was good enough. Right. So guys, what I want to show you is obviously this one. So you guys do remember very recently what I've mentioned when we had this whole I had a whole rant about how we follow certain patterns, and I said, look, just focus on this area, and if you watch how we've basically traded these patterns, right? So here you can identify your tops and your bottoms, so swing highs and swing lows. That's all we're doing. So by identifying them, I have said, okay, I know exactly where my orders need to be. So it's the same strategy where we want to buy. As long as we're dipping, we want to buy every one of these dips, right? So recently I've mentioned if we drop below 54, I'm going to be selling my alts. I sold my alts. We had this rebound. I've used the alt money to start buying more. Now, I'm buying more BTC. Of course, I'm expecting this market to possibly, so this is a probability to even bounce here. I do have a buy order around these levels as well. So every one of these points that you can see here, I have a buy order, right? But I have my biggest one at the 30K level. And funnily, since we were down here back in, what was it, back in May, I actually also have a buy order at the 20. So what I'm saying is that order, that limit order that we set up has been there forever. We actually have not even touched that, and that order itself has not executed. So this is the kind of a way we need to move. Like, a lot of you guys just need to understand that. Make your mind up, make your decision, and say, okay, these are the points, these are the biggest swings that we have in the market. And when we're looking at these zones, right, we have our orders there. Whether they fulfill or not, it doesn't matter. If we've already been in it and it's continued to move up, like for me today, if it goes all the way to 100K, I'm a happy guy. But if I can pick up some dips around these 20, this 29K, 30K, possibly even the 20K, then I've just accumulated a lot more than I would have had if I was to buy right now. And this is another thing that I just want to explain to you guys. I've talked about this many, many times. I said you don't invest everything into crypto. You have to have split portfolios. Tracy, you still here?
Yeah, I'm
All
still
right, okay,
here.
okay, yes. I just thought he was.
Yeah, I was like,
silent.
I was kind of letting you talk, and I was also like kind of reading through chat.
Yeah, I can see. Awesome, awesome,
And
awesome. So,
Albin actually brought up a good question. I don't understand why you just don't buy all 2,000 on the last target line.
interesting. Albin, it's
Right.
because sometimes what happens is, even though you saw how this played out, sometimes it doesn't work out. So if Albin, you are looking at my chart right now, what you will notice is we have this zone here. I'm not sure if you can see this specific zone here. I'll actually put something there just to show you. So this specific candle here. So on this particular day, I wanted to buy at the 40K. So I had a buy order at the 40K, but what you can see is this candle did not give me the 42K, sorry, $40,000. He actually bounced pretty much on 43. So I didn't get that order, and sometimes it will happen. As
Mm-hmm.
much as we want it to come to a certain level, there may be something like, there may be some bulls sitting at a different price level for whatever reason. And here we can see why, because bulls were literally protecting this particular level here, right? So they wanted to protect this level. They didn't want to go below this line, which is absolutely fine. And for me, I was being over optimistic that, okay, I might get a 40K BTC and be very happy.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't happen. So Albin, this is one of the reasons why this happens. So as you're scaling into the market, you have the lowest amount there. Obviously you have a high amount here, but remember what I've also said to you, my highest amount is actually sitting on this line here. So from the liquid USDT portfolios that I have, and I've mentioned this on the videos as well, that I have approximately 10 different exchanges ready to deploy, but each exchange has its own price point that it will enter. And I don't have to go and look at those wallets or do anything. I will know as soon as I see the price. So when I've come into the chart, and if I see BTC at 20K, I know my 20K order has been executed, right? So it's one of those kind of things. It's all about discipline and control. And as I say, when you make that trade, or whether it be a spot buy or anything, right? The moment you press that button, you've already made your mind up what your exit is or what your entry is, and that's it. Your plan has been executed. So whether the order's filled or not, your plan is executed. So my plan of 20K was executed way back in May. Right? My current buys here, I've talked about it on many of the videos, have already been executed here, right? In the point that I've pressed that button. Now, if it doesn't get there, of course, my plan was a failure, and that's what happens. So this is one of the reasons why we don't want to put.
So
Yeah, go for it.
yeah, if I was to interrupt, I just had a memory. Back in the earlier days, once we started seeing like, the lots of crypto exchanges just coming out one after another, there was it was really a lot wilder back then. And there would be errors on these exchanges. So a tactic that some people employed is they would set really low limit buys, really low. Because sometimes there would be a glitch and they would fill.
Yes. Well, we see this.
So,
We recently see this in Bitfinex, right?
yes, yes.
So, I mean, it does happen, and exactly as you just said. Funny thing is, you've talked about this. I've actually mentioned it in, I believe, one of my videos. that I actually have a buy order for BTC at $1, a
Hmm.
limit order
Yeah.
set up at $1. And everyone's probably thought, why? And I've mentioned this like 8, 9 months ago. And that's because of that glitch.
Hmm.
There could be a day where something happens in one specific exchange, by the way. I'm not talking about global thing, just one single exchange. And that could lead me to get myself a $1 BTC. And the beautiful thing about crypto is once you've got it, you've got it.
You've got it.
No
Yeah.
one can take it
Yeah.
off you. That's the beauty. They can ask you, but yeah, I mean, that depends on how generous I'm feeling. Like the other day, somebody paid, I believe it was $200 million in Ethereum gas fees by accident.
That's right. That's right. I saw that
They
story.
didn't have
And
to give it, but they gave it, or whatever the deal
yeah.
was. They made a deal basically. Obviously, they got a nice little handsome reward for it. But the point is, they didn't have to. This is crypto, you
Yeah,
know?
they didn't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's you could have walked away with it. And there would have been very little that they could have done.
Yeah, but the
I mean,
honest truth
maybe
is, I'll
with
tell you.
KYC they would have actually known who you were.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is, if it was an
But
exchange, even with KYC,
yeah,
you know what? I wouldn't be sympathetic towards them. But the fella who paid 200 million by accident, of course, I would give it back to him.
right.
To him, I would give it
Yeah,
back. That's a genuine accident. But if an exchange is glitching out, none of my business. You should have had that problem because
right.
you've taken responsibility with my funds. I could be at the losing end of that. Now, if I've won, what, you're
Yeah,
going to come back to me? Because what happens if I lose? Are you going to pay me back? So it's one of those
yeah.
kind of a conundrum, right? Where I would be completely against them. Oh, that's mine. I'm keeping it. I don't care what you say.
Right, yeah.
You know.
And James says that he has a specific question that he wants to ask in private.
He does.
Um,
But the question is
who
how do we go private? We don't. I think, James, if you are part of our Discord, you could ask me, I suppose,
right.
at in the Discord. We do have a Discord group. You could definitely ask me there. But when it comes to anything in YouTube, unfortunately, nothing is private. Everything you're saying
Mhm.
right now will be replayed at some point, and it's here for history as long as this channel exists, as long as YouTube doesn't ban us or do screw us over or anything like this. This is there permanently. It's part of what we are. Like anything on YouTube stays on YouTube.
Yeah.
So it's there for everyone. And I believe, if I'm correct, Tracy, um, since you've left the other channel, I believe
Yes.
this is your first live stream.
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah,
So
my other channel, all we did was live.
I know,
That was all we did.
I know.
And that's why I kind of like I'm just sinking right back into, okay, when you're talking, I'm watching chat. And that was kind of like our how we were doing. Um and yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's very different to be live. And it feels like a lot less work now that I'm like
It is.
doing videos and I'm like editing them, and
I hate
like going
editing.
live feels like a lot less. But
Um,
it's like I want to, when I'm doing my educational materials, I want to make them entertaining to keep your attention, to keep you focused on the subject matter. Because, if I was just to deliver this, it would be very boring and dry, and I wouldn't, convince you that, this is something that you needed to know at all. So it does take a lot more effort to put together those sorts of videos,
it's
but it's
hard.
still enjoyable.
It's
It's still
of course.
enjoyable to
Listen,
do.
I think this is something I've mentioned this to a few people recently as well. I said this YouTube itself, right? When we come on, it becomes a sort of an addiction.
Hmm.
It's like your daily fix. Like you have to come on board and actually do this because you could easily read about something or talk about something or discover something, and you want the world to know. It becomes this kind of a complete reverse addiction where I want you to know. I want you to know as soon as possible. I want the world to know as soon as possible.
Hmm.
And I think that's what
Yes.
becomes our thing. And I prefer live streams compared to other stuff. James Taha says, I see. Okay, so he's joining Discord. He's going to say something there. That's fine. We'll have a look. Obviously, if it's something that we cannot disclose in the YouTube, we will not talk about it. But other than that,
Right.
you're welcome to send us some sort of a message. We'll talk about it. That's not an issue. Let's continue. Right, guys, is there any other questions you guys have other than, so yeah, let's see. So Albin, you answered his question. There's so many up ahead. I didn't actually even check. Right, we did.
I'm actually going to pop out of the Google Meet and come back because I cannot figure out how to turn my camera back on. So
You do that.
I'll be right
No
back one
worries.
more
You do
time.
that. You do that. I've still got you on Discord anyway, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, I see Chris here. Ah, damn. I didn't realize he's got his icon on. So Chris is here. That's pretty awesome. Yeah. What app or function do you use to track the P&L per coin cost average purchases? Okay. You see, Chris, the question you're asking, right? It is going to be a difficult one. You see, with the crypto space, I believe I have explained this to you already, that we are a very new emerging market, and a lot of the traditional financial instruments that you would have in a stock market trading platform, which is actually a legal requirement, is actually not even relevant in the crypto sphere. Most people who are trading, buying and selling, and I'm talking about majority, they have no idea, no clue. Trust me, they'll just do their KYC just to get in. It's a barrier to entry, nothing else, right? So majority of the people, what you'd find is quite common. You ask them, how much do you know about crypto? And they'll be like, oh, no, a friend of mine told me. Yeah, that's it, you know. What do you think about Bitcoin? Oh, I have no idea. I just know it makes me a lot of money. That's the kind of an answers you're going to get. So there's no research or anything. So those kind of metrics that you're looking for P&L and everything, some exchanges are trying to build them, others not even bothered because nobody even actually looks for them yet. But I think what you have to look at is positively regulation is coming in. Once regulation enters the market, these are going to be actual requirements by centralized exchanges. Of course, when it comes to decentralized exchanges, it's still the wild, wild west. So,
Yeah, it is.
yeah, Tracy, what do you have to say to this?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
getting an
getting an
echo.
echo.
Is
Is
anybody
anybody
else?
else?
No, you're getting an echo. I can hear you. I know exactly why you're getting an echo. This time, guess what's happening? I believe it's got to do with Discord.
Uh-oh.
I believe all I have to do is switch. Actually, on Discord, just switch your microphone off,
Yeah, that's what I just did.
and
But I
look,
can.
echo's gone.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
so
was weird. It wasn't doing that before, so
exactly.
I.
So before it was feeding the audio from there, and as soon as the echo came in, that means that it was actually taking the audio from two places at the same time. So finally, I've
So
got you. This is the setup we had yesterday, which is the perfect
yeah,
setup, right? And
yeah. Yeah, it's like we worked so hard, guys. You have no idea to like just get it perfect. And then we hop on today and it was just like we did nothing.
yeah,
But I see Anton has a question. Um, what to do in an all-time high situation. And I clarified, do you mean how do you fill your bags properly once we've reached an all-time high? Um, well, one of the key things, if I was to write down some trading commandments, one of the commandments would be never buy at an all-time high.
exactly.
So what you're going to,
I've got one to add to that. It's a
yeah,
subcategory, okay? So obviously this is one of the commandments, but my one is going to be a subcategory. Never buy a green candle.
mm-hmm, yeah,
Always try to buy the red.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But yeah, when you're at an all-time high situation, you need to take a deep breath because that's when people tend to FOMO. And you don't want to be that person because you're a smart trader. You're not going to FOMO. You don't chase things. If you've missed the boat, you've missed the boat. You just take a deep breath and let it just wash you over you. You're going to wait when you're in an all-time high situation. You're going to wait for the price to come down. Identify those key levels. Use your previous swing lows. And maybe put some, I would maybe not do at the first swing low and maybe like try to start maybe at the second swing low. And because once the price has reached an all-time high, we are going down. I mean, that's how the market works. You go up, you go down. Tide goes in, tide goes out. Um, so you will be coming back down. So if you want to get in, what you're going to do is you're going to identify some previous swing lows, just like we just did, and maybe skip the first one, go to the second one, because you want to look for a better bargain, and start putting your limits orders in there and do it in the same tiered fashion. And I use 10, 20, 30, 40. maybe you want to divide it up a little bit more. Maybe you want to go 5% in on the first one. Whatever math that you use, just make sure that it's always increasing as you go down.
The high,
And
exactly, yeah.
yeah, and so that's how I would buy an all-time high is, try to get it at the bargain when it's coming back down off that all-time high.
That's it. I've just seen a question by Stick and Bones. He did ask me this a few days ago. I have answered it two, 3 times actually. Yes, we did have a Head and Shoulders
Hmm.
forming,
Hmm.
and yes, the Head and Shoulders has been cancelled. So I just drew this just to kind of show you something here. That yes, there was a pattern. This was the peak of the shoulder, right? If we look at this, hold on, let me do a horizontal ray here for you. So if you do look at this, this was the peak of the shoulder. Now, if we did complete a shoulder here, we would have completed a shoulder here. Excuse me. Right, sorry guys, I had to sneeze.
Bless you.
Yeah, just dust and cat hair basically. So, so what you can see is that this would have been the other shoulder, right? Which would have been fine. But what we saw here, so you got the shoulder, left shoulder, right, the head, the right shoulder, which would have been a perfect thing until we saw this swing here. This
Hmm.
swing here kind of invalidated it. So we did have almost pretty much the same balance. And once we started coming back here, we're testing that trend line. So all of this area, as soon as we started testing this trend line here, we knew that we've invalidated it. And if you go back to yesterday's video, I showed this same thing as well. And I actually mentioned that, guys, in fact, the title thumbnail of yesterday's video was actually a possible trend reversal. And that was the possibility. And as you can see, yes, we did reverse the trend. Yes, we've come back down, but we broke this neckline. We went up. So we invalidated the
Hmm.
entire the bearish situation, like the Head and Shoulders, right? This shoulder, we invalidated it by breaking above this. And now we've come back to test it, and we're looking so far so good that we could possibly even rebound off this and then now start testing this. So as you can see, as we progress, every time we do this, we're moving up. We're going to be constantly invalidating these points, which are quite significant because these are these points too, and we start moving back up until we get to the bigger point, which is around this 54 53 $54,000 level. So yes,
Right.
the Head and Shoulders has been invalidated completely for this micro time frame. Of course, on a larger time
Yeah.
frame, it doesn't even exist.
Well, I can see a Head and Shoulders. We're still on technically the head portion of the Head and Shoulders on the daily.
Daily,
Um, and but it's looking like,
I see.
because you can
Okay,
see that.
yes, I see
You can
what you
see
mean.
that.
Yes, yep, I see
Yeah.
that. Yes. Um, true, true, true. Okay, yes,
So yeah, we're technically still on the head portion. But, if the trend continues, then we've invalidated it.
exactly.
If
Yeah,
the trend that we see on the lower time frames continues, then this doesn't exist. This isn't actually a Head and Shoulders.
yep.
And that's something I did mention on my last technical analysis video.
I actually mentioned it,
Was
I think it was about 3 videos ago. I mentioned this. I said we could come here, find rejection, and then actually do this, which is actually a perfect Head and Shoulders. So this would be your right
Mhm.
shoulder, left shoulder. As you can see, based on the higher high, the pivot highs and pivot lows, basically
Yes.
that we do have a Head and Shoulders forming. And I did show it 3 videos ago. But one thing I saw here, which gave me an indication that it's actually okay, so we haven't really done anything yet, was this area here. If you look, we ended up
Yeah,
creating a higher low, which was
that is
actually
right.
a good indication that, okay, this is not quite as
Right.
significant as it would be. So the probability of
Right.
it doing this based on the trend is high, but on the sentiment is quite low.
Yeah. So I stated that a little bit differently. It was just basically like we haven't reached the neckline again yet. So until that happens, we're not in a Head and Shoulders pattern.
No, definitely. Okay, simple, easy. Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. But what we do know is once we do come to this purple zone here, guys, we are going to see a nice little rejection, right? So, end of the day, if you're loading up your bags right now, expect a dip around here. You could be the biggest
Hmm.
bull out there, but expect this to be a strong, significant resistance point until we
Yes.
break out. And we see this
Yes.
over and over again where as soon as we broke a support that used to be a previous resistance, as you can see here, and we break support, we are going to have these issues where basically, end of the day, we're going to find significant resistance at those levels.
Yes, yes. And I mean the chart that I showed, I tend to draw like areas. I have lines of resistance, but I also have areas of
Yeah, go
resistance.
for it. Share your chart. Go for it. Share your
Yeah.
chart. Yeah.
Yeah, I could share it again. And it's those areas are just kind of like where I've seen like a lot of reversals happen and window and BTC. And there's there's it looks a little crazy until I like actually like extend the stuff out. But I have lines here, which it looks like price is pivoting pretty tightly around that point, and then these areas where somewhere in here there's been a lot of reversals. Um, and like I mentioned, this line's like it's been just a very, very annoying resistance level for quite some time. Um, and I tend to like leave these on the chart. I don't, once I identify them, I just keep extending them out and extending them out usually. Every once in a while, we'll form a new like low or a new high that will make me tweak it just a little bit, but I rarely do that. I leave these on because these are previous areas and lines and price points that were support and resistance at one point. And once you cross them, resistance becomes support.
Exactly.
So that the big thing that I do is switch the colors. That's usually the only changes I tend to make is, every once in a while I'll kind of fine tune it a little bit. But other than that, the only major changes is just switch the colors. Once price goes above, it turns green.
Okay, okay, okay. So slightly different to what I do. For me, you've probably noticed that most of my charts are continuation charts and they stay
Hmm.
there forever. So a lot of my chart, in fact, one of my oldest chart actually has prices, targets for price all the way up to 71 to $74,000. And it's one of the only chart that I've actually pinned on our Discord. And I've said to everybody months ago, I said, guys, whatever happens, frame this and keep it on your walls. And
Hmm.
just look at this. You don't have to look at a chart, just look at this. And that was the level of confidence I had. I said, every single line is relevant. On the way
Yes.
up, they're going to be resistance, and on the way down, they're actually going to hold support. And what people have seen over and over again, doesn't matter what day you look at it, it's actually acting out just like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it will do this. So it's, history itself. I know we talk about this a lot, where we say, look, history itself does not repeat, right? It doesn't repeat absolutely in cryptocurrency or any stock market or any markets, right? They do not repeat. But one thing they do is rhyme, right? And sometimes what they also do is actually give us enough data to know where we had those traffic zones. It's a very important thing to understand. Yes, we can call it support, we can call it resistance, but to some people, it makes more sense just to know that's where we had the battle. That's where all the traffic was. So if that was a key support resistance area or a battle zone in one word, that's where we should be also focusing our energy to buy or to sell.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, and I also just noticed Albin asked a question about the inverse head and shoulders pattern.
Yes, it did. And I thought I'll leave
Um,
that to you.
yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, basically when you understand a pattern and how it behaves after the pattern completes, when you inverse it, the exact opposite happens. So in a traditional head and shoulders, we have the shoulder, the head, and the last shoulder, and then price goes down. And in the inverse, we have the shoulder, the head, the shoulder, and then price goes up.
Do you want to move your chart to the right a little bit? I want to show something on your chart.
Sure.
If you just move the screen a little bit to the right. Right. So if you just look at this carefully, guys, what you will see here is that there has been occasions, right, where it does look like we were forming a inverse head and shoulder. The other thing about inverse head and shoulders is actually there's a key point there. So it's a rare pattern. Obviously, you can
Mm-hmm.
use like a triple bottom for it, right? That would typically be like an inverted or a four quadruple bottom basically. So you can have four bottoms confirming that, whereas in the V-shaped patterns that you see, right? So you see a V and a W. That could also be it's a very rare pattern, but it could also be
Mm-hmm.
taken as a head and shoulders. The head doesn't have to be as big as long as it bounces within a specific line, and that could be done. So for example, if you look at the chart in front of you, and if you look at January, March and April, theoretically, if you look at those particular zones, we almost had it until it was invalidated back in May. So there was this bigger pattern playing out, and then it just kind of invalidated itself. So you see how the W's are playing. It was a actual kind of a head and shoulders itself. So yeah, a triple bottom could also act like an inverse head and shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's hard one. It's a very hard pattern to identify, but it does
Yeah, it
play out.
is.
Yes, but it does play out. So yeah,
Yeah.
rare pattern, but it's there. It's a very rare one. In fact, to see a triple bottom on a larger time frame is actually very rare. On shorter time frame,
Yeah.
yes, you can see all the time, but
Yeah.
it's a very rare pattern. But it is an explosive pattern when it does happen.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, currently where we are, as you saw, that this could potentially turn into a head and shoulders on the daily. Absolutely
Mm-hmm.
right. And I just remembered I have mentioned it before, that guys, this is the probability that I'm seeing. But
Right.
that could also be invalidated if we break the neckline.
Yes.
So as
Yes.
soon as we enter the
And by
red
the way,
zone,
guys, if you don't know, this line is the neckline right now. So the neckline is where basically this part of the shoulders formation where you're at the neck, like right here where you're meeting the head, that's your neckline. So in order for this to even start to fulfill, price has to return back down to 4173 for 40,173 is what I have marked on my chart. It's approximate. All lines are approximate.
sorry, I'm just reading Discord. Carry on. You carry on. Tracy, carry on. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm just reading Discord because I want to see. So we can see, I believe it's Jones. He has joined, but he hasn't messaged me anything. So not sure what's going on.
Yeah.
So he has joined our group. I could see that. That's for sure. He's crossbody because he has the same logo as his YouTube thingy. But yeah, James, sorry, James, yeah, he has joined. So, but he hasn't really said anything, so I'm not sure what's going on there. I hope we haven't lost him. So
Yeah,
James, if you're still here, buddy, yeah, we are reading Discord. So if
let me peek in and see if maybe because I hadn't
probably he's
looked
asking
at,
you,
yeah,
yeah,
maybe he's asking me a question. There you go.
is he asking you a question? Maybe he's asking you privately a question. Just as, if he's maybe
Oh,
he's asking you
oh.
for a number or something. You never know. What happened?
Yeah, hang on. I did get a message, but I'm just confirming that it is him.
So I see him on Discord as crossbody.
No. No, hang on.
So you see him as somebody else.
I have a different I got a different message. It might just be somebody because it's somebody I haven't talked to for a little while.
Okay, so I've
Um,
got crossbody here, which is definitely James because he's got the same logo as the YouTube, but hasn't said anything. So yeah, I'm not sure what's going on, but anyway,
yeah,
let's carry on. Let's carry on. We've got loads of interesting people here, guys. By the way, if you have any other things you want me to talk about, or even if you want Tracy to talk about it, just mention one of
right.
our names and just holler, and we're here. We're gonna be trying to help as many people as possible. As I said, this is not gonna be the only show. We want to do this. I see James is here. I think he's writing something. Hey there, one sec. Okay, I think he's writing something. So
Oh, okay, there we
yeah,
go.
so we are here, and as I said, like we're gonna be doing this. once in a while, probably we'll do some sort of schedule or something, because obviously work timing is another thing as well. We're in two parts of the world. So Tracy's in USA right now, if I'm correct, right? And I'm in London. So obviously we have to do these late streams to get hold of Tracy, or I would have
Yeah.
to stay. Well, currently over there, it's evening as well, isn't it? Right now, I believe.
Yeah. And I could have been on a lot earlier, but I did have some lunch plans my time
Yeah.
this
But
this
no, no,
big
of
and this
course.
it's just rare. It's rare that I actually even get out of the house anymore. So I kind of felt like, maybe I should do this, but yeah.
Listen, you gotta do what you gotta do. It doesn't matter, right?
Right.
And
Yeah,
do you know
you
what the
you,
thing is?
you
I was
gotta
gonna carry on anyway, and I said, Leona, I've
yeah.
left a message for you, and I said, I'll carry on. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. And if you're not here, then I'll show them something, but obviously not
Right.
everything, because I want you to do that at the end of the day. So, you know, and hopefully, I hope all the viewers that have come to the show today do go to your channel. And remember, guys, the link is
Yeah.
in the description. Okay, so the link for Tracy's channel is in the description. Please do go and check it out. And of course, you want to do this educational thing, then what you need to do is follow the channel. Make sure you turn on your notification, press all, and that's where you're going to be getting a lot of that stuff. And when you're going to get the live stuff, right, when you want to interact and this and that, well, this is the channel you got to come into, because that's where we go all nuts and we do all sorts of crazy stuff here. So yeah, smash those like, hit that subscribe, and make sure to go to Tracy's channel and hit that subscribe. Okay, guys. So let's see what's going on. So Albin here, what does Albin say here? Do you think you could explain what a symmetrical expanding triangle is? I don't get how it is both bullish and bearish. Do you want to take this, or shall I do this?
Yeah, I've been talking quite a bit, and actually, I would like to get some water because I didn't prep very well.
You do
If you
that.
could take this one, I would love it.
I'm
I need
gonna
to
take
go
this one. Right, okay, so
grab a
let
drink
me
real
grab
quick.
this one. No worries. Okay, guys, you ready for this one? So I'm gonna take this one. Okay, let's do this. Give me a sec. Let's get myself onto the stream and let's do this for you. Right, so I'm getting a slightly different chart, this particular chart here, just to kind of show you guys what a expanding head and shoulders looks like. So let's get yourself, sorry, an expanding triangle, okay, expanding triangle. So a lot of the people, there's two types of triangles, right, Albin? So I hope you kind of understand where we're going to go with this, right? So number one, actually, don't want to use this chart. Let's use a better chart. Yeah, because it's rare if I have actually anything that doesn't have any drawing on it. So yeah, so let's go for this chart here. So I want to show you two specific type of triangles. So number one triangle we have is obviously the standard type that's we do, and I'll show you this right now. So I'm literally going to draw you a triangle to just show you what a triangle looks like. Pretty silly, right? But that's what it is. But it's going to be
Right.
easier for me to actually show you how these triangles work. So this particular triangle itself would be a descending triangle. So just try and understand that this is a descending triangle where you can see this part of the body starting to descend. Right now, I want to show you the pattern that you've just mentioned, which is an expanding triangle, and what an expanding triangle actually looks like. So an expanding triangle, there's two forms, right? So one you can see in this particular way where it's actually expanding. Now it can expand in two different ways. It can expand, and you have seen this probably on some of my channels as well, where I've done patterns and triangles on a complete opposite way. So they can all be related to similar to say, you know, when we talk about a broadening wedge, well, a broadening wedge does turn into a triangle at some stages if you have a narrow point at the other end. And I know a lot of people use this, so yes, it is kind of bullish and it is kind of bearish at the same time as well. But the ones that you should be like, I think like symmetrical, the one you mentioned, right? So let's go back here as well. You've talked about a symmetrical triangle, right? And I'll show you this. This is a really good one as well. So symmetrical triangle would be one. For example, imagine this area here. So we have a top and we have a bottom. All right, so sorry, my bad. I was going off subject a little bit, but the point is, look, a symmetrical triangle. Just imagine this. So you have this triangle where both the top and the bottom look bad, right? But this itself has a broadening back end. When you look at this, for example, what you can see is it has two specific points, right? So you got the how high and how low it was. We can find different areas. From this, we have a bullish pattern, which means if it breaks out, so this is more of a breakout pattern. If it breaks out, it could easily pump up to whatever the distance from the top to the bottom was, or on the downside, it could easily break down and it could be very, very bad. So yes, a symmetrical pattern, it's an indecisive pattern. When you start looking at it, for example, I'll give you a good example on this particular candle we just saw actually. This is going to be really good for you as well. So if you start looking at where we are right now on this weekly, actually one candle before was a perfect candle. So this one red candle here, if you look carefully, it has a wick on the top and a tail at the bottom. This is a perfect example of how the past 7 days hasn't really played to a specific direction. It played more like as if it was indecisive, right? And you can see this kind of reflected here, where basically itself, yes, it was started moving up a little bit, going down a little bit, but if you look at the total data, it just doesn't know where it wants to go, right? So this particular triangle, I mean, this is not even a symmetrical triangle. If we were going to use this, we can't even use it
Yeah.
as, yeah, we can't. This is basically, from what I'm
Right.
seeing,
So
this is a
what I
ascending
usually
triangle.
yeah, what I usually like to do when somebody's asking me a specific question about a chart pattern or whatever, I could spend some time looking through charts, trying to find that exact pattern. What I usually do is just, you know, there's so many good resources out on the internet, and there's like some very simplistic diagrams that really just kind of drive the point home. And I
They
actually
do,
have
they
one.
do. But
Yeah.
you know what?
And
With
I
Albin, I'll explain something about Albin. Number one, Albin is actually 17.
oh,
One of our youngest members, yes. And it gets even better. Albin will ask you the same question over and over again. It doesn't matter if you even give him the document, he still wants to know from you.
yeah, and that's fine. Well, let me
He's
let
one
me
of he's gonna be your favorite student, trust me.
but it's like I use it as a prop. I don't just say here's the document,
Yeah, yeah,
it's my prop. So
yeah.
I can actually share my screen
Go for it,
again
go for
and
it, go for it,
talk about this and why it would be bullish and bearish at the same time.
go for it, go for it. Because I usually
Okay.
like to avoid bringing in. Yes, I can see that, but I will usually. Yeah. So you've got the broadening pattern.
Right.
Go
So
for it.
yeah, so this is the expanding or broadening, however you want to call it. Here's the thing of why you could maybe consider it to be bullish and bearish is because you have to think of the market like a war zone. The bulls are always fighting the bears and vice versa. So this is, you know, neither side is winning. Okay. So then, if neither side's winning, then you're both
Tracy, I'm
bullish and
going to leave
bearish.
you to carry on with this. I'm going to go and get myself a drink of water. Okay, so carry on.
Yeah. Oh, I highly recommend it.
You carry on. I'll be back in like one
Okay.
second. Yeah, one
Yeah.
minute.
And I've suddenly hidden my chat window, so let me pull that back up. But so, you know, like I was saying, you got to consider that the market is kind of this war zone. And if nobody's winning, then you can call the market bullish and bearish, but really the word you're looking for is probably neutral. Um and basically this is what is happening. Notice this nice little word here and this little nice word here. You've got bull and bear traps forming. So as this wedge keeps growing, the sentiment it's just swinging wildly, and it's just getting more and more and more and more wild. So neither side's winning. So every time we reach a new high in this sort of scenario where we've got lower lows and higher highs, these are most often traps for the other side. They're ambushes in our little market war. So, Albin, does that kind of make it a little bit more clear to you? And if anybody else has any other questions, throw them in chat. I will pull up more diagrams. I will pull up more charts. I will do whatever you need. And I'm going to take another drink of water while I'm waiting. James is asking if we could take a look at Matic and slash Polygon.
Go for it. Go
Um,
for it. Why not?
yeah, yeah, sure.
Go for it. But you know what?
So,
This is what I mean. So guys, now I think this was a perfect example where I needed a drop of water. Tracy needed a
mhm,
drop of water, but we could actually continue
yeah,
by, you know, having a team on board. And this is one of the things
yeah,
that we are focusing towards and we do strive towards getting towards, right? You know, where in the future, if we have enough viewers and you know, enough people on the live streams and everything, and both of us we collaborate a lot more, we want to do it in a particular way where we can have this kind of a thing where we can continue talk. Maybe one does technical, one does fundamentals,
mhm,
you know, and of course Tracy. And there's more people. There's a lot more guys as well. We can get everybody on board and probably even throw some education in there and make this show
yeah,
much more valuable for you guys.
yes,
So smash
absolutely.
those like buttons, hit those subscribe both channels. Let's go for it, Tracy. Go for it.
All right, and also I just noticed that James said he did leave some more info in the Discord,
Awesome.
but I'm gonna go ahead and pull back up a new trading view window, and we're going to throw in Matic. We'll go against USD or maybe USDT and just pull from Binance because that's probably going to be like our best read here. So on the daily chart, you can see that just and this is me coming in fresh. I haven't done any TA on Matic in a while.
Okay, so this is going to be interesting. I think you're going to have to look at. So it's on the main chat what James
Oh,
said. I actually have an opinion on that, and I think I'll drop it at the end. So let's do the analysis, and then I think after that, just
right.
have a look and see what he said. And you know, he said something at the end about what he's thinking of doing about when it goes to a certain thing, right? And I'm thinking,
Okay.
actually, if it does that, you're better off not doing what you think you want to do. So we'll get to this in a
Right.
bit. It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a conundrum.
Um.
Trust me, James, you're not wrong. I know the feeling. You're having this feeling. It's like, oh, I've had this. I've had a bad situation. Now, as soon as the market starts doing something positive, I might want to rush out because I don't want to face the same mistake again. But actually, you're about to make another mistake by doing that. So we're going to talk about this. I think Tracy will understand exactly what I'm saying when you look at that chat.
Right. Yeah. And I haven't like just sat here and actually read it yet. But I have it up and I will look at it once I am done just giving kind of like a general look here. Um so once again, I'm on the daily chart. I have my SMA 200. We are above it. So whenever we are above the SMA, I consider us to be in more of a bullish market. So that's positive sign number one. Next, if you look, we have a series of. Did I get it? There we go. Like these are, we have higher lows. So we're still on a really good uptrend. And yeah, some of these candles kind of follow outside and I could draw it like that. I could draw it from that one. But, uh, technical analysis is part art, part science. So, I could draw it like that. I could draw it based on that. You have to kind of decide what you want your outliers to be. And the outliers should always be wicks. Your outliers should never be candle bodies.
Well, here's where I disagree with you
Yeah.
because I don't do wicks. I prefer to do the bodies because I believe
Yeah.
wicks actually tell a story, but the bodies actually speak facts
Right.
because that's where the
Yeah.
candle closed. So for me, that's where my levels are, not the wick. Wick was a story. Yes, that's a narrative, but
Yeah.
it's not the full story. So, you know, for me, I do have this kind of a variation. Of course, I do still pick wicks if I can't help it. Sometimes when I'm looking
Right.
for a trend, I'm looking for my three touch points. I can't seem to find one. I will use a wick. But most of the time, most of the technical analysis that I do are based on the bodies of the candle
Right.
as those are the closing parts. So for
Yeah.
me, those are
And you
important.
definitely find both flavors of technical analysts out there.
Yes, I'm a complete different flavor there.
Yeah. Yeah. Um and sometimes if I see a better story forming, I will change my mind
You'll take it. You'll
and
take it.
not use
Yeah.
and use the bodies.
Yep.
Um, sometimes I'll draw a line and I'll be like, I'll just sit there and stare at it, and I'm like, no, I don't think that's the story that's being told here. But that level takes a long time of looking at charts for you to kind of get like, okay, I've put a line down, but something feels off. It takes you a little while to get there. Um, but at any rate, no matter where you put this line, we've got higher lows.
We've got a trend, exactly. That's the key.
Yes.
Yep.
So, it's almost semantics at that point that we're talking about.
Yes.
So we've got higher lows. We have got higher highs. We are in a full-on bullish uptrend on Matic right now. And Matic's been doing really great. We are approaching, and I'm just gonna pop down what I always like to do is mark off the previous like largest swing high, which is our all-time high. So we are actually, let's see how close we are to it. Oh, I hate it when the chart doesn't want me to drag it. There we go. So let's measure this. Yeah, we are less than 5% away from the all-time high on Matic, from this previous swing high right up here. So we are getting, if we make the next leg up, which all indicators point to that we'll probably that the next price point, the next swing high is going to be our previous all-time high, and then we'll probably bounce off of it.
And I think it's time for you to actually read that message, because you're actually at that point of the chart where you need to read that message.
So let me have a look here.
Yeah. It's a very interesting thing what he says, and you'll understand what I'm about to say. But I'll let you say it.
Ooh, okay, hang on here. Let me make sure I've like read this and understood it correctly.
Yep. James, you've got a conundrum on your hand, my brother. Did you get it?
Yeah, I'm still reading it. I'm just making
You're
sure
processing it.
I
You're processing
fully
it.
understand what he's asking here.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So if I'm understanding this correctly, this goes against my commandment that I threw out. Am I correct in understanding?
Yes, he basically went against the commandment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, James, the commandment that I put out for crypto trading or any trading is you never, ever, ever buy at an all-time high.
Yeah.
What you're going to do is you're going to wait for that all-time high to happen. So that's really where every sign, unless something really weird happens, all signs point to that's where we're headed to next. So when that happens, you're going to hold your bag.
Because the probability is that we're going to go higher. The
probability is when you hit the all-time high, you're going to bounce off of it because people want to pull out profits.
Yeah,
okay?
Which is exactly what he wants to do. But what the other probability there is, which is also true as well, that if this happens, there could be a parabola. Because normally when we do test those, yes, we might spend 1 or 2 days getting a little bit of a rejection, which is guaranteed to come. But after that, because you've tested that previous all-time high again, you've literally touched it, it's bound. The higher chances of it actually breaking and creating a brand new all-time high, and that's when you want to exit. So even if at that point you make 5%, 10%, whatever, that's a bigger profit than whatever you're going to make on the bounce, because all you've done is given money to someone to play with your money and come back with nothing. So you've got nothing to show for it. You're in it to make the money, make some money, get out. Even if that means 5%, 10%, whatever, at least you know you won. That's what you should be doing. So when we do go back to the previous all-time high, at any point in the future, we are bound to the probability is actually higher for us to actually break through and create a brand new all-time high. That should be your target, not the previous
Yeah.
high where you bought it.
Yeah. And now I'm like looking at the message again. I kind of got hung up on the first part of the question
Yes,
and the way
yes.
that it was worded, but
Yep,
yeah, now I get it. Now I get what he's asking.
yep.
Um and yeah, like you could do that, but really what, just like you were saying,
It's a difficult one,
y-
isn't it? It's a conundrum because
it,
at the
it
end of the
is it
day,
is it is a
you've
very
bought at the
difficult one.
peak and you're going to go back to the peak
So
only to sell to buy the dip. But
there
you
is there is some so okay. Let me be very frank.
By
I
the way,
bought
guys,
safe.
this is not a financial advice, okay?
Right,
Please
right.
make
This is
sure you do
never
your
financial
exactly,
advice.
okay?
I
This
am
is
not
just
certified in
yep,
anything.
exactly.
My I am a coder and my degree's in biology.
Look
I
at
have
that,
no
right?
business
We've got a
telling people what to do with
biologist
their
there.
money.
Okay, so
So,
yeah. If you
um,
need to know how to put a plaster on properly,
right,
there we go. We can teach you that.
right. Yes, exactly. So, let me tell you a story. And this is, I don't know what your investment looks like, James, right now, but this might be something you want to consider. I bought SafeMoon. I bought it a week after launch. It was just kind of like sure, why not? After I 3x'd on it, I pulled out my initial investment. I cashed it out. And then I let the profit ride.
Exactly.
That is one really great way to play the riskier things. Once you go up, get your initial investment out, and then you're not out any money if it tanks. So, um, you know, maybe at the return to the all-time high, depending on where you bought in, depending on how much Matic you bought in, maybe you want to use that strategy. Maybe you want to pull out your initial investment when it reaches there. But, and then once you do that, what you do with the money that you pull out, that's your choice. If you want to try the buy the dip method, it might not quite work because it could just go parabolic. People could get very excited about Matic. Matic said it's all-time high again because this is the second time we've hit it.
Yep.
Okay. So once we've returned to the all-time high, it is kind of likely that we'll keep going up. So you could put some money down and, I'd maybe skip that first like swing low and then aim for the second one just in case it does go parabolic, so you don't want your order to fill too quickly. So maybe like aim for like say, okay, let's do a hypothetical and let's just say that, we go up and I'll even get like, where's my brush tool? So let's say we do this. And my cat just bumped my elbow, so that's a beautiful line. You can see, you might be able to see her. I don't know. She's on my chair. Um, so let's say we do a little pattern like this and we hit our all-time high. So we have this previous swing low here. Let's skip that one and set our first limit order here for like, 10%. And then you can maybe like do, like a little bit more down here through the other swing lows. But likely because we are hitting the all-time high for the second time, it is pretty likely that we are going to continue to go up a little bit more because
And
the
I actually have
excitement.
some numbers on that as well, actually. So I
Right.
will show my charts later. I do have
Yeah.
some numbers for Matic as well.
Yeah. So, because it's not that we've hit, we never buy at the all-time high, but the second time that we hit it, there is like a really high likelihood that we're going to keep going up. So your orders will not fill. But if you just leave them there, probably what will happen is we'll go up and
And
then
then
we'll
come
start
back.
coming back down and then
Yep.
they will fill.
Yep. So it will take a little bit of time, but what you want to do
Yeah.
is, if you do want to do this, you want to, well, this is where my Fibonacci technique comes in. Your Fibonacci sequence itself should be your exit point. So if you are looking at what the higher probabilities are of, like, okay, us breaking up and we're going to go to a specific level, we obviously don't know how high, but we can make a rational decision based on what the Fibonacci shows us, right? So I use the 1618 to be my usual exit point, right? When I want to pick it up, I'll pick it up on the Fibonacci lines. Now, I can show you this if you don't mind. I'm going to quickly just share my
Oh yeah,
screen,
absolutely.
and
Let me
I
stop. I will just hit my stop
go
presenting
for it.
and let you take
Let
over.
me just show this, and that would really make sense, because we this is a chart that I've actually shown before. So it's been here for some time, and we did analyze this already. So we have put our range where the top is. We've also put where we need to currently break out of, and you can see we did all of those perfectly. Now, the time frame I'm looking at is on a weekly. And you can see this is the only week where we have been fairly indecisive compared to where we were. So we were bleeding, and then until last night or yesterday, for the past 2 days, we've started to move up. And we are going to be closing our candle in approximately an hour and 15 minutes. So far, this is a bullish candle. Regardless, it's indecisive, which means we have a very long wick on the top and a very long tail on the bottom. It doesn't matter. It's an indecisive candle, but ultimately it's a higher high on a weekly. Very positive. And you can see when we did do a certain patterns on this particular one, we did see that the probability based on the Fibonacci lines. So I'm just counting the top to the bottom. It did give us the $3.10, right? And on the previous one, you can see the Fibonacci line is actually still sitting here, which is at the 1.1, sorry, 1.2, Fibonacci 1.2. So that data's been there for quite some time, but obviously the shorter time is pointing towards almost the same line. So we can see that, yes, on the positive note, if we were to break this previous neckline, we are looking at a $3 matic, and that would be
Mm-hmm.
your exit. So just to make sure you get that, you nail it, I would set it up around the $2.90 to possibly even $2.95 as my exit strategy. Then, as soon
Yeah.
as that happens, exactly what Tracy said, what I will do is I'll come back and find that. So there's 2 points of where the bounce will happen. Number one bounce will happen literally. We go here, we come back literally. Say for example here, we will come here and probably find this as a support. We might be okay as long as the market's still moving up. We could then start creating another leg up. But if we didn't hold this as support, guess where we're coming back? Pretty much back to the previous swing low, which would be either this zone here or this zone. Now, if you do look at this Fibonacci, what do you see around this particular area here? We actually have the golden zone, which is the
Mm-hmm.
618, which means this would be your perfect re-entry.
Yes.
Okay, so you can
But
see just by using the
real,
Fibonacci.
yeah, real quick, it seems like we misinterpreted the question.
Okay.
So yeah, James is in chat. And he says, no, 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 I don't want to sell. What I'm asking is what price would I exit with 30% for increasing my position? I intend on holding long. So let me try once again to interpret that and rephrase that just to make sure that I understand this, James. So James, I hope you're at the ready to confirm this. So is what you're asking, you want to cash out 30% of your position to increase your bag. Is that what you want to do?
Hmm.
Okay. You
Okay.
don't want to exit, but then you just said that you were asking what price would I exit with 30%. So I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time understanding what you're
I'm
actually.
confused too, because obviously when we
Yeah,
looked at the actual Discord comment, that had specific amounts, and it wasn't
right.
30%. It was actually more like 25% according to the maths, if we did it
Hmm.
correct, right? So it looked like 25%, and obviously you've kind of explained briefly where you bought and where you want to sell, right? So that's where we're getting the assumption. Maybe there's a confusion,
Right.
but you know what, James, don't worry too much about it. We can continue with the conversation on Discord later on as well,
Yeah.
probably get into the deeper things as well.
Right.
But
Yeah.
look, on live and certain things, we cannot advise anybody where to buy, where to sell. We can only show you what the maths is
Hmm.
showing us. So, of course, we would definitely, you can use this like the Fibonacci method that I use basically. So I always say this, that doesn't matter. I don't know how, by the way, guys. I don't know who created Fibonacci. Obviously, it's based under somebody, but it's an ancient method. For some odd reason, nature loves to play with 1618 and the 618. We don't know why.
Oh, yeah. And
It's
yeah,
crazy,
like
right?
I said, I have a biology degree.
Yep.
You see it in nature. It's
It's
just there, and it's amazing how the math works out.
It's freaky. It's freaky.
Yeah,
It's
it
scary.
is.
I'm telling you,
It
when
is.
I look at it, I just like, wow, okay, this is definite evidence that there's a God somewhere. I'm telling you. And for me, I just take that and I've noticed over and over and again in my whole entire trading history, my whole technical analysis, the job that I do, for my private clients and everything, these numbers, it's just bang
Mhm.
on. It's on spot every single time. Of course, if we fall below these
Yeah.
numbers, then the trend is also reverse. It's so funny
Yes.
that as long as we don't fall below the 618 whenever we go up, we actually don't break a trend. We're still, it's a continuation pattern.
Mhm.
So pretty awesome to see. But as I said, this is a strategy that I would personally play. If we do break the previous all-time high, then the target to sell would be around the $3, and then to
Yeah.
buy back would be around the best case would be around the 618. And of course, we would play the necklines as well, just in case
Mhm.
we fall to these lows. And that's
Yes.
how we would buy the dips and continue as long as the market is continuing. But obviously, you've got to be very, very careful that when you do rebuy, we're not on a downtrend. Because if we're in a downtrend, you don't want to be buying. It doesn't matter how much of a bull you become and how much of a bag holder you want to be. If the market's going to go down 80, 90%, and remember, alts suffer more than BTC, right? So if we do see these bigger moves taking us down, then you will be expecting to be in the market for a longer time. But just be prepared and remember one thing: your asset still belongs to you. So yes, the value may be different to what you entered in, but the digital asset that you bought and the quantity is still yours. So
Yes.
that's one thing that you got to understand. All of this is your digital asset. It belongs to you. You can move it, do whatever you want, and hodl those bags.
Yeah. And I'm giving it one more shot to try to like really understand what James was coming at. I'm kind of typing in chat.
Okay,
So
so he's saying he wanted to learn about the entry to use your dip strategy, Sai.
yeah.
You don't need to
And
Sai, bro. Um,
yeah.
just
Yeah.
look, when
And
you're looking at these charts, okay, I think if he wants to do the dip strategy, right, it's very simple. So
mm,
find your trading session. I'm going to take over from you for a second, Tracy, if you don't
yeah,
mind,
do
yeah?
it.
Right. So let's get you a Freshmatic chart, just to show you. Let's just use a random chart from FTX, which I haven't used before because I've got so many. Right. So
I know. I've had to like pull up every single one of the
it's
BTC
crazy, right?
charts on.
Yeah, so let's do this, right? So you're on a trading session. Say, for example, your trading session is 12 hours. I'm just going to just make it short and rather than do daily ones, right? Because we like to play with daily numbers. But if your trading session is not going to be on a daily, you can't literally be trading for 24 hours. So just for the sake of this, we're going to say your trading session is 12 hours, just for the sake of this video. Now, in this 12 hours, we want to identify our lows, right, and our highs, right? Very simple. So what we're trying to do here is just identify, and I'm going to get rid of everything. We don't need anything here. Give me a second, guys. Right. There we go. Right. So all we're trying to do is identify where our tops and bottoms are. So let's get rid of this. Sorry. Yes, my thing is bugging out on me as well. Right. Let's do this. So all we're trying to do is identify some bottoms here. So there's two ways of doing this. Now, wicks I don't like. I've also talked about this. I'm not a big
Hmm.
fan. So what I do is to eliminate the noise. I do this. So I would literally use my line chart to identify the exact location of where this bottom is, right? So say for example, we're here and we're going to play this and I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. So this is a shorter time and all I'm doing is just building upon this data and saying, okay, these are my swings. These are my lows that I can see, identify. And there's many, trust me, there's many on this particular session. Of course, I'm going to be looking at a slightly longer time frame than I'm trading. So each candle is 12 hours, but I've just looked past, say, for example, 2 weeks or 3 weeks data. And I said, okay, I can see this, and this is good enough for me. I don't need to go as far as this because this is less likely. All right, so we're looking at this and we're saying, okay, this is a highly probable that we might be able to play these swings. So what we're going to do now, from 12 hours, we're going to start moving down our trading session and start looking at, say, for example, 8 hours. Do I have this? Yes, I do. My trend is still intact in the 8 hours. Okay, fine. Let's have a look and see if I have this in my 6 hours, for example. Yes, the same bottoms are actually valid in my 6 hours as well. So I know that I've got 3 data points telling me these were the lows that I need to be targeting. These are the actual low points, right? So using what Tracy taught you just a little while ago. So when you start buying your zones, right? So for example, I'm not going to use writing. I'm just going to use this. So 1, for example, 2, for example, not the best 2, by the way. 2, right? 3, for example, here, 4, for example. So I'm just roughly just drawing this, right? 5 and 6, right? So here we've got 6 zones that we could potentially snipe. That's what I like to call it. We can potentially go and buy. So imagine you had $1,000. Now what you're doing is basically you're putting the least amount here and then a little bit higher, maybe double the amount, maybe triple the amount of whatever you put here, maybe 4 times the amount here, and you're moving down where you have maximum, so more than 50%, for example, from point 5. So you have the most amount of money at these 2 points just in case we wick down, right? That's all you're looking for. And then now you're saying, okay, fine, I want to start trading this. Okay, so all you're doing is basically putting your limit orders in to pick up these dips. And now on the way down, obviously you've come down. Say for example, this market decides to go up wherever it decides to come down, it's fine. You're picking it up all the way up to there. But remember, this is a waiting game. It's not just about basically trading a session. It's about you wanting to buy that amount. So it can't have a monetary value. That's a key as well. So you really have to understand this trading strategy is all about buying the dip because you want that coin. I want it so bad. I want so many more. I don't care what price it is. I want to pick up as much as possible. It's not a money-making strategy. So that's something I really wanted to clear by just showing you this. And of course, from
Right.
that point onwards, obviously, once the trend is moving back up again, yes, you could make a lot of money.
Yeah.
So
It's a money-making strategy later.
exactly. It's not, you don't chase the money, you chase
Right.
the idea here is all about coin accumulation. How many more Bitcoin, Ethereum, Matic,
Yeah.
whatever coin you decide. So remember, pick your coin, stick to your coin. But how many more of that you can start to accumulate? That's the key here.
Yes.
So I hope that's what you take away because it is very important. So James, the only takeaway from here should be how many more coins you can get. It's not a monetary value. You can decide whatever you want to put in. You can put in all the money at the top or all the money at the bottom. But what we do recommend in this strategy is you have your largest quantity of funds at the bottom and the least amount at the top.
Yes.
Yep.
I hope that got us closer to answering the
I
question.
hope so.
There, and I'm really sorry, James, that we were having trouble understanding what you were actually getting at. But we tried.
So Albin says, I'm away now, got school tomorrow. Thanks for the stream. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, awesome. So, Tracy, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the
Yes.
show. I mean, it's just awesome. I can see 10 people still actually, was it, I don't even know how many people are actually watching now. Yes, 10 people are still watching. They've been with us the whole time. I mean, guys, thank you very much for being patient with us, especially with the audio issues and everything. And I could see that you guys are definitely keen on actually learning, and that's a very important thing. I mean, for us, this was definitely a great feedback just to watch you guys, especially Chris. Chris, I'll see you soon in the restaurant, bro. So Chris is somebody who comes to the restaurant quite a bit. Loving the tutorial and partnership in training between you guys. and girls. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So Chris is definitely a fan. He actually does come to see me in the restaurant quite a bit. In reality, he actually comes to see me. So
That's awesome.
yeah, he actually comes to learn from me. You won't believe this. He actually spends hours with me sometimes. Of course, by the time he finishes leaving, he gets drunk a little bit. He does drink a lot, but you know what? It doesn't matter. You're in my home end of the day, so I'm gonna treat you. So yeah, but yeah, awesome, awesome, awesome. I see Anton here as well. Awesome. Thank you very much. Yes, definitely. We hope to come and do this more often. It should be awesome. I mean, even if we just do normal stuff and we can probably
Mhm.
just,
Yeah.
do these kind of collabs. Also, as I said, I will, if it's around this time, I will also try and go to Tracy's channel. Every now and then, I might actually just send you a link and say, guys, we're doing a dual collaboration. We're in two channels at the
Right.
same time. So go and check us out that way. It should be really, really awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're kind of working out the details, working out the kinks. And yeah, we're definitely going to do this more often.
Yeah, I think it's going to be insane, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
enjoyed today. Trust me. Do you know why I enjoyed it the most, Tracy? I'll be honest with you, and I'm a very honest guy.
Cuz you get to stop talking for a little while every now and then.
I had so much less load today. I was so
Yeah.
happy. I was so happy. I was like, oh, you know what?
Yeah, isn't
It's
it
a blessing.
nice?
It's a
Isn't it
blessing.
nice?
It was a blessing,
Yeah.
honestly. Thank you. Because you need
Absolutely.
someone
Anytime.
someone on the same page, someone who obviously
Mhm.
can take over, and you know your shit. End of the day, excuse my language, but that's the
Yeah.
truth,
Oh
right? You
yeah,
know what you're
no.
doing. So I know I can rely on you. And I was like, okay, do you know
Yeah.
what? I can just let you carry on, fly with this. End of the day.
Yeah.
So it's been awesome, awesome, awesome.
Yeah. And it's so great to have somebody to like kind of like bounce ideas off of, disagree with occasionally, because in technical analysis, nobody's voice should be the end all be all because it
Exactly.
is
There
part
is no
art,
right,
part
there is no
science.
wrong. You know that. We
Right.
know that. We all talk, we will say this. There is absolutely nobody who's got the 100% crystal ball to actually say, I am
Mhm.
absolute. No, there is no wrong. There is no right. It's all based on probabilities. Some
Yes.
higher probabilities we can agree on. And of course, technical patterns, we all have our own unique style of actually
Yes.
analyzing the charts.
Yes.
So we're never going to be right. Full stop.
Yeah.
Neither me, neither you, nobody.
That's right. And anybody that tells you that X coin's going to do Y on
Yep.
Z day for sure is lying to you.
Actually, no, you can't say that because I did do that, didn't I? I did do that. I did two specific dates. I was so close though. It was a
Yeah,
it was a bold one, but I didn't do it. By the way,
yeah,
I didn't do it on technicals. Well, I did kind of. I used a probability, and I've actually got the video pinned so people can go and watch this. I based it on a probability on the lengthening cycle method.
mhm,
So based on that method, I did get a date which actually said to me that the 18th of whatever date it was, and
yeah.
then yeah, so that was a date
Yeah,
thrown at me.
there are some techniques, but it's like it's not the price, asset, and date.
Exactly. Yeah, it
It's
wasn't.
the
So for
guarantee. It's
yeah.
if they guarantee you
Oh
it's
no, no,
gonna
no.
happen,
For
they're
me,
lying.
exactly. For me, I couldn't put a
Yeah,
price on that day, but I did say one thing. I said, guys, this is when this is going to happen. Like the market's going to do this, or this is when we're
yeah,
going to have a pattern invalidation, or this is the day we're going to reverse. So that's all I've said. Nothing about price because, as I've
yeah.
mentioned many, many times, I cannot tell you what the next candle is going to be in the next 1 second. I
Right.
cannot tell you. I
Exactly.
do not have a crystal ball. Nobody on this planet can tell you what the next candle
If
color is going to
you
look like.
yeah, if you think you can figure out what color the next candle is going to be, you don't even need to do that. You can make millions of dollars doing binary options trading,
Exactly.
you
Exactly.
know? And go in and give it binary options trading a try with some play money,
Yep.
and you'll see how freaking hard it
Yep.
is.
It's not simple. It's so hard. I mean, every time you see trends moving, like 15
Mhm.
minutes, 5 minutes, you see these great patterns, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna go in. But the most common mistake is, yes, you go in, you entered at the correct time, but you just don't know when to stop. So
Right.
you end up coming back to square one. I've seen
Mm-hmm.
this over and over again. This is one of the reasons why, and I've noticed you do the same as well. We stick to the higher time frames. Like, okay, guys,
Yes.
yes, the stories are great, but sometimes maybe we just want to stick to the higher time frames and ignore everything else that happens within the market. Like, for example, we've talked about BTC, we've talked about Matic today, for example. We didn't talk about too many coins, but one thing we didn't talk about is the entire market cap. And if you look at the
Mm-hmm.
entire total market cap itself, it hasn't changed the trend yet. It's actually still inside the trend line. It has not invalidated its previous downward trend line. And if you look at the total market cap, we're still hovering around the 2.28. And that's significantly lower than where we used to be. We're around approximately what, $700 billion away from our previous all-time high. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a significant percentage. We're still low. So there's a long way to go before we start celebrating.
Yes.
Again, we can see this. Of course, there is an invalidation point here where we can invalidate this trend by just literally hitting this threshold, the 2.37. If we can do this, we can start to reverse the trend and then hopefully move back up again.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
It's the market is not linear.
no,
Bitcoin can't go up forever
no,
in a straight
of
line.
course not.
It's more like we're gonna see a smoothing pattern to it. It's gonna level out. And we're actually starting to probably see the start of that leveling out right now. And that's why the markets are kind of doing this sort of stuff.
Yeah, well, I've called it. I mean, on one of the shows, I actually titled it as diminishing returns and lengthening
Mm-hmm.
cycles. This means the curves are getting longer, but the returns are actually reducing compared to the massive amount of
Right.
percentages we used to see. So we cannot expect the same level of percentage gain as we did previously. Those are
Yeah.
expectations are dropping literally every
Yeah.
month, less and less to a more stable type of a number, to the point where I've said I predict or kind of assume around 2028 to 2030, we might even get to a level and global adoption where Bitcoin actually stabilizes. So it will
Mm-hmm.
be a rare occasion for us to see a 50%
Yes.
dip.
Yes, yes,
You know,
absolutely.
yeah,
And there's a guy that I found on TradingView. If you guys aren't aware, you can actually publish ideas. Like if you look at the top of any chart, there's like a publish button.
yep,
And people do that. It's kind of like social media for technical analysts. And there was this guy that published a theoretical one of those flattening curves,
yep.
and we see the ranges just shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And I show that chart. I don't have the link handy, or I'd like pull it up real quick because we're trying to wrap it up here. Go look at my last video, and I bring that up, and you can actually see it. It's a really good chart. It's a really good theoretical chart. I'll
I
put
think I
that in.
did something very similar
Yeah,
on 2 or 3 videos ago.
yeah.
On BTC, I did something where the actual it had a broadening end at the beginning of the channel, and then it started to become narrow and narrow
Mm-hmm.
over time. And
Mm-hmm.
I tried to explain something very similar. I think I was answering a question to someone, and I said, "This
Right.
is what I see." So yes, the supply was huge, but as supply is reducing and adoption is coming in, the Bitcoin itself is starting to, yes, grow in value, but it's reducing in supply and creating this level where it's going to stabilize at some point. It's going to come to that pinnacle point where
Mm-hmm.
that's it. It's like a point of stabilization, and that's it. The perfect ingredient. And that's
Here,
coming.
I'm gonna post the link to the channel in the chat because Anton is asking for it, but it is in the description.
Yep. The
Um, if you peek down there,
Go for it, go for it. I'm not sure if the link is active though. I think I do have a bot to stop links or something.
yeah.
But try it. You never know. Try it. If not, then Anton, we are on Discord and it's on the channel. So this particular video, if you do look at the bottom of the description, in fact, just where the title starts, I've put the link to the channel right there, right in the top. So yeah, nothing like on the bottom or something. It's there, literally. You open that description, it should show up the
Mhm.
link for the channel.
So Mr. C just asked if I have any gems up my sleeve if I can chill. Well, No.
I love
I
that one.
yeah.
Thank you.
I really I don't shill coins. I will only bring up a coin that I believe in, unless somebody specifically asks me about a specific
Exactly.
coin.
So,
Um,
Mr. C, you could be
yeah,
the ocean, you could be the biggest whale
yeah,
out there. Listen, one thing,
yeah.
right? And I've told you this. By the way, he's a school friend of mine. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
is a school friend. So,
yeah.
yeah, I know who he is. But the point is I've always said to him that, even on this channel, I don't shill anything. I don't, I won't. I'll analyze them if you tell me what they are. But normally,
Yes,
I will not shill anything unless I personally buy myself.
yes,
If I'm willing
exactly.
to take the risk in a certain coin, I will definitely happily mention that to you guys. Other than that, I would never ever mention anything.
I
So
will tell you that currently I am, as soon as I get my next video up, after that, I'm going to be doing some heavy research into all of these new DAOs that are popping up. And if I find one that I really truly like, I'm going to buy some of it and I'm going to make a video about it
good.
for sure.
So I already know of a specific DAO type of a coin that I might have to shell to you privately.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I'm sure it's
You
in the
can
title.
try.
I'm sure
You
it's in
can
the title.
try,
You
but
already
I'm going
know
to
what
do
I'm going to
my
talk about.
DD anyway.
That's the whole idea. That's the whole. I want you to do your own research,
Yeah.
and I would love to see what your analysis is on that coin. Obviously, when it launches, and you already know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So it's coming
Custard
soon.
Boot is asking if I believe in Crow or if you believe in Crow, if we believe in Crow. I believe in Crow. I like Crow. I hold Crow.
Custard already knows my answer. I believe in Crow. I'm a
Yeah.
Crow bull. He already knows
Yes.
this. I'm planning to buy as much as possible. I mean, this was an actual what would I call this? For me, it was an actual opportunity to buy some more discounts. And
Yes.
as it goes down, if it did go down, I will constantly pick this up, all the way to up to this level here, and then probably I'll stop. And it's something I've already been picking up from way back. So I've always been very bullish, and I've mentioned this to everybody. I've been very, very bullish on Crow. Um,
Mhm.
but until recently, I didn't really have this conviction in it. Until recently, when I realized that they've launched their blockchain, and I've already given the reasons why I'm so bullish on it. Crow
Mhm.
is literally another copy of Ethereum or Binance or whatever. But the beautiful
Yes.
thing is, it allows developers from the other chains to now start developing other protocols and other DeFi protocols, and different functions on this, right? Which means we don't have to reinvent anything. We just have to bring old protocols, relabel them if we have to, and start launching on these. And that's what gives it the value. And that means that this is going to have a lovely little marketplace and an ecosystem
Mhm.
that is going to be easily growing fast. And the
Yeah.
more it grows and the more DeFi projects we build, the more Crow will be locked, which will accelerate this price increase. And I've even given my hypothetical price. I said anything from $16 to maybe $160 in the future is what I'm expecting for this. So that's pretty crazy. Anything
Yeah.
16 to $160. Pretty
And I
mad.
mean, like, crypto.com is such a it's such an easy, like, once if I'm talking to somebody that's kind of new, I'll say, okay, start with Coinbase. It's the big, easy one. But when they're ready, it's like the next one you should get is crypto.com. And that gives you a little bit more. And then, and then it's just, let's get MetaMask and Trust Wallet and all that stuff from there. But I appreciate, like, Snoop Dogg was one of the first people to offer NFTs on crypto.com, and I actually own 2 of his NFTs.
Yeah, but you know
Um,
why? You know why? Did you see? Okay, did you what do you watch Formula One Grand Prix?
no, I
You
don't.
don't. Well, guess what? Today the World Championship was won, and guess who sponsored the actual Formula, the Grand Prix, the actual stadium or racetrack?
What?
Crypto.com.
Crypto.com.
And the guy
Yeah.
who won had a big tag here saying Tezos, sponsored by Tezos. So I was like, I was on Twitter. I said, "Well done, Tezos, because you did really well." The guy who won had Tezos flashed here, and the winning shot of where the the checkered flag thingy, it's the whole arch was Crypto.com. I was like, well done, both of you. You nailed it.
Right. Yeah.
You know, the whole
Yeah.
world was watching you on every single channel, and doesn't matter where you flipped it, it was all about that for that 10, 15 minutes. And
Yeah.
it's flashing crypto.com to the world and
Hmm.
Tezos to the world. And I'm like, well done, both of you. You know,
Right. Exactly.
so
I mean,
this is what it is, and then you know the things are going to move forward. But these are the things. It's like a strategic, planned
hmm,
entry that they did marketing, and of course,
yeah.
you know,
And yeah, that's like marketing is so important. Getting it right is so important.
that
And
was
you know, it's
perfect.
I was you know, on my old show, we were looking at all of these, you know, shit coins left and right. Like the BSC circus, the BSC casino. We called them both.
Yep.
And you know, one of the big things that we would look for is, okay, how are they marketing? Because even if it's not a scam, even if the team is doxed, even if there's a good utility to it, if they don't get the marketing piece right, it's not worth
It's
investing
not
into.
going anywhere. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But this is key because a lot of people have been asking me regarding Paradexes, and I don't like to shield my own project here. But the point is
Mm-hmm.
Paradexes, and I've said to everyone, I said, guys, I'm going to make all the documents first. I want to get the
Mm-hmm.
marketing out there first, not because I
Yes.
want to sell anything. Because remember, we're not selling anything. It's going to be a fair launch, right? So,
Yes.
but the point is if people don't know about it, what's the point me trying to shill
Right.
any? It doesn't work. So I'd rather build
Yeah.
the community before I launch the project. This is one of the reasons why we never created the token in the first place.
Two words, brand awareness.
Yeah.
Uh, and you know, it's crazy to think like marketing, Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola still spends millions, if not billions of dollars in marketing.
Oh yes.
Why?
Oh yes.
Why? Who doesn't know what Coke is? But if they have found if they don't do that,
The
their
sales drop.
sales plummet.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, every year we're getting the Coca-Cola polar bears.
Yep.
You know, and you know, it's the way the world is. You have to market. You have to
Exactly.
do brand awareness. You have to sell yourself.
Exactly. You know, and this is why, it's important. Crypto.com for me, I see a massive potential. Just like how FTX with their marketing strategy went from nothing. I think it was like $5, $6 all the way to like 60, $70. I believe crypto.com has the potential to do something crazy like this, but
Oh
obviously
yeah.
it's only my opinion. It's not financial advice, so obviously you do you. But that's how I feel, and I think Tracy almost feels the same way as well regarding
Yes.
Crow. But that's about it. It's not a financial advice or anything. It's
Yes.
just what the structure is and what we see in the market. We're basing this our assessment based on that.
Yes.
So yeah, but other than that, how is the market doing and how is everybody else doing? And I think we're not going to make this any longer. We are actually going
Right.
to end the show in a few minutes.
Yeah.
But it's been awesome, Tracy, having you here.
Yes.
It's been an absolute pleasure. I mean, this has just been.
Yeah, we're gonna do this more often, guys,
y-
for sure.
I love that because you know what it is. Sometimes when I'm doing it, I get a bit lonely. So I'm glad.
Right. Yeah. You don't. It's hard to interact with the chat when
Yep.
you don't actually hear their voice
Yep.
and you know stuff like that. Um, but you know, I've just started up my Discord server. I have tentative plans to have like kind of like a town hall voice discussion
Yep.
on my Discord occasionally, hopefully weekly.
Yep.
Um, but we're not quite there yet. We're just getting
It's a
set up. I'm
lot
I'm
of
still
work.
trying to like figure out what little bot
Listen,
games I
you've
want to
seen
put
my
in.
channel. I've got
Yeah,
everything there, and I,
right.
I
Yeah.
don't have time for half the stuff.
I know. And
It's
it's definitely
difficult.
something I would need to make time for
Yeah.
but it's something I'm planning on making time
Yeah.
for.
Well,
So,
that's good then.
you
That's
know,
good. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, for me, I will have a lot of time, probably in the future once I've finished some of these crazy projects that I'm actually working
Yeah.
on, some of these random crazy ideas I have. Once they are actually done, yes, definitely have some time to do crazy stuff. And of course, we're going to be talking as well because there may be one or two things that we may require in the coding sphere, and that's where you come in. So again, guys, Tracy is a coder by profession.
Mm-hmm.
So there is actually a lot of things she will be showing you, which is not technical as in the charts, but technical as in codes as well in the future.
Right.
She is definitely going to be bringing a
Yeah.
lot of these subjects in like, how to
Yeah.
create this or how to analyze this or how to, make certain codes do certain things. That's what she's going to be showing you guys as
Right.
well.
Yeah, probably my very next video after this one that I'm planning is going to be like a very simple, maybe a trading bot. Maybe I'll even go a little bit more simple and just do kind of like an intro to maybe even Solidity for people that are interested in looking at smart contracts. Because, if you can figure that out, you could actually use smart contracts to trade with. There's things called flash loans, like from Aave and in places like that you can use to very quickly try to snipe a trade. And it's you don't want to do that manually.
Crypto Punks, I believe, right? The NFT collector.
Mhm.
Do you know he got caught? He actually bought one of his own NFT with a flash loan.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
He bought his own NFT with a flash loan to bump the price up, and
Yeah.
he got caught, and he done it twice.
Yeah. I
But
do
OpenSea
remember that.
have decided to put some sort of a detection system on, so they can detect if somebody's using a flash loan. So it's not going to be
Yeah.
something that you can do again. But it was pretty
Right.
awesome to see how he wanted to raise the price floor, but he didn't actually use his own money. He own money. He just used a flash loan to basically go in, utilize all within the same transactions, buy the whole thing, bump the price up, and then execute back, payback, and Bob's your uncle, he was able to sell that at a high price.
Mhm.
Crazy,
Yeah.
right? Crazy, crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of nefarious ways to use flash loans,
Oh,
but
yes.
there's just as much legitimate ways to use it as well. And it's just basically end of the day, my next video, I haven't quite fleshed it out yet, but it's going to be focused on coding because that's something I haven't added to the channel quite yet, and that's something I want to include.
Well, that's where you are really good at, so I think you should definitely do
Yeah,
this. I would definitely be watching. And also remember to share your video links in our Discord.
I will.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so with this way, at least even if I'm not there, if I don't see them, because remember, I get so many notifications. My notifications are non-stop. I barely can see what's going on.
Right.
So for me, I literally physically go into the channels to go and see what's really going on. Hundreds of these things coming on. So it should be pretty awesome. Share the links. That way, at least my community, our community, I mean, you're part of the same community
Yeah.
as well. We can all get to see those links, and just follow through and see what's happening. Because there's a lot
Okay.
to
Yeah.
learn from each other, I believe. So, for me, I would definitely love to learn from you. So, yeah,
Yeah. Absolutely. And I'm sure, I know I don't know everything about technical analysis. You're going to teach me something eventually. I know it. I
listen,
know
I
it.
know I don't know everything either. I don't claim to. I don't claim to either. For
Yeah.
me, I always say to people, I say, look, I'm not a technical analysis. I'm actually more of a data guy. So I follow the bigger data, and my projections are macro level.
I I just bought membership into the Society for Technical Analysts, which is
Yeah,
based in London.
I know.
Yeah.
But
I just bought membership
do you know
into
it's
it.
a scam? They just want your
Really?
money. They just want your money.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna get
No, there
certified.
well, basically what I was looking for is there's actually like some certifications
That's
that
what
they
I'm
have
saying.
training
You're
for.
gonna get
Yeah.
the certification, but that's about
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was just something I was like,
It's cool though. Look,
I'll
it's
look at it.
cool. It's cool because I have been approached and I have been suggested, why don't you just go and get that? I was like, and they're like, yeah, you could get that. It's certified. I was like, but what am I gonna do? Flash my certificate on YouTube?
Right. Yeah.
Honestly, it just
Yeah.
doesn't work for me.
Basically,
Yeah.
basically, I'm just like looking for other communities to reach into,
Yeah, no, no, of course. Listen, connections are very important. So
Mhm.
any connections you can make, this is really, really cool. And of course, the
Yeah.
certification is personal satisfaction. That's what I believe as well. I mean,
Yeah,
for me, I
and
went back
it's
to
like
university.
I've gotten I'm certified in Solidity.
Look at that. Huh?
It doesn't matter. That
No,
doesn't
no.
matter at all. No, there
But
but it's kind of
it's
like
your own
it's
personal
just
achievement, isn't it?
right. It is kind of like something to put, it's the drawing or the report card
Yep.
to put on the fridge. I passed a test. Great.
Yeah,
Um, at the end of the day, that's all it is.
that's it. That's it. That's one of the reasons why I went back to university, and I'm actually studying at university right now. I went back to university for this one sole reason that yes, it's my own personal satisfaction that yes, I've got that qualification. I'm never going to use it. I mean,
Hmm.
you've got a degree in biology.
Yeah,
Have you ever used it?
I have used it.
But saying
I
that,
I
are
taught
you
I
using
taught
it now?
biology. I taught biology for a while,
Yeah,
and the I only use bits of it now
yeah,
because
that's the
I
point.
mean I took statistics,
Yeah,
I took calculus,
yeah,
um, you know, in a course like I'm writing, so I'm using like the English essayist, sort of stuff
yeah.
that but, it's like I don't go out and identify a tree every now and then. That's so
But that's the point, right?
yeah.
Yes, we do certain things. Yes, we have our specialities and we have our achievements that we have,
Mhm.
uh, got. But end of the day, when it comes to us, what we're doing in crypto and technical analysis and all sorts of other stuff, uh, it doesn't really matter. We don't need to prove anything to anybody. And as we
Right.
both agree that even in the professional sphere with the certifications as well, everything is a theory until proven wrong.
Mm.
So end of the day, a theory can easily be adapted, a fact cannot. So we like to keep theories, and this is something in the scientific community as well. We do like to base things on a theory and leave it as a theory rather than a fact.
Yeah.
Because it gives us room to make adjustments later as well. So
Yeah.
it's a very academic thing to do, actually.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we should call it my animals are
yes.
begging to be fed. They
Of
are
course.
in
I need to go and eat. I
Yeah.
believe it's 11:25. I haven't actually had any dinner yet, so I'm definitely going to
Yeah.
have some dinner. It's been awesome. I see Chris here. He says thanks. Awesome. We will have to also go as well, guys. Thank you very much to everybody for coming to the show today. It's been an
Yes.
absolute fantastic show. Love the fact how you guys have literally stuck with us and through the good and the bad and whatever. So it's been really, really awesome. A big thank you to Tracy for coming over to the show because it's just been awesome. I couldn't have done it without her today. I mean, we've done what, 2 hours and 49 minutes, Tracy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty awesome, right? Pretty,
Yeah,
pretty
it is.
awesome.
Yeah,
So
it
thank
is.
you very much for coming to the show. Honestly, I really, really respect.
Was glad to be here, and I
It's
was
been
so
awesome.
glad to meet everyone. Um, I will post when I get my video out that goes a little bit deeper into this sort of technique. I will definitely post it in the Discord, or you could just, hit my bell icon on my channel.
Exactly.
All right.
Well,
Well, until next time.
exactly. Thank you very much, Tracy. Thank you. Thank you very much, guys. Smash those like buttons, hit that subscribe, and yeah, we're definitely going to catch you on another one very soon. So, other than that,
Mhm.
adios, my amigos. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank